Go on, Mr. Maps.
Yo, what it is.
What it is, big man? Are you alive and kicking?
I'm alive. And yeah, can't complain. It's a bit of a challenging week ahead, but we give thanks either way.
Okay. No, we give thanks. It's winter in this motherfucker. Hey, good life. Sometimes I always feel like I'm looking at all the tweets from everyone in the UK, and they're like, "Hey, hottest day." So apparently, I think today, Tuesday, is the hottest day ever recorded in.
Yeah, no, England
started recording. Ever since they started recording this thing, the years are getting. It's getting hotter by the year. It appears. Yeah, so long as it climate change is a hoax, guys. Currently, queen.
Yeah, no. I need to wake up. You need to wake up and shape up. But again, before we go any further, welcome back, guys. It's another episode of 6 Foot Weights, your favorite cheese boys. My name is Tabo.
My name is Senna.
And we're back again for another week of madness. I just wanted to give the people them a little update, Mr. Moy, before we even go too far. Just to give a shout out to the people. And obviously, you know, if you've been listening to this pod for a while, I'm pretty sure you can guess where this is going, what I like to highlight from milestone to milestone. But we are officially over 50,000 streams, Mr. Moy. So we out here, bro. Yeah. We out here. 50K, bro. 50K. Another actually closer to 51, but yeah. Another 50 and will be 100K, So obviously a big thank you to the listeners, to our day ones, our OG goons who know what it is. Shout out to you guys, and shout out to the new listeners who started last week, today, last month. Just thank you to everybody who's pressed play. It's very, very cool in terms of, the amount of, what can I say, influence, the amount of traction the pod has gotten. So yeah, we're very happy. And again, we haven't really done a lot. If we were serious, we should be marketing this thing a lot more. But it's just we're doing this. What do we do? We're doing this as a hobby, right? It's for fun.
It is a hobby. It's not for profit. I'd like to say maybe we're an NGO.
NGO podcast. Non-profit podcast.
But I mean, okay. Yeah, for us it wasn't ever about monetizing it, so it was just always for the fun of it.
Yeah.
And then
just because of lockdown,
we didn't
now we've trapped ourselves.
Yeah, also because of lockdown,
life is not happening. You're like, shit.
Yeah, what a difficult.
Yeah, no.
But that's the good thing, right? And then because when you're doing something not geared towards any particular end goal or number or whatever, you can be yourself.
Yeah.
And then if people latch on to it, it just makes it so much easier. So, hey, I'm glad. Siyabonga support.
Absolutely. Now people have been turning out, and obviously I do a deep dive into the numbers and see where are these people coming from, fam. What's it looking like?
Where is it going?
Anchor does give you a little bit of an overview in terms of what you're looking at with regards to a couple things. My favorite thing is to know where people are listening from. Obviously, South Africa is still holding us down. Senna and his stands are out here. That's I'd say, yeah. So 23% of the audience is based in SA. The biggest grower, is the UK. UK is at 21%, fam. Overtook States, overtook Zim, overtook Aussie, and they are right there. So we've had a lot of growth. Shout out to Nat, shout out to Koli, shout out to Tinto. I guess does Kandor get a shout out? Because I don't know what his deal is. Is he repping UK or is he still repping Zim? I don't know. But definitely
he's not repping UK proper.
Oh, he's not repping UK proper. Change team.
I changed from plus 263 to plus 44.
Plus 44. Okay. No.
He is now a plus 44 kid.
Let me actually even check Wuti. You know, this is how you see if someone is loyal to Zim. When you leave, do you change your number immediately, or is it immediate? It's plus 44. I know. So yeah,
he's converted.
He's converted. So I guess we have to thank him as well. So shout out King Kano. Forgot you guys coming onto the pod, sharing the pod, and other people discovering it in other ways. You, the listener, sharing it, tweeting us, and people just being like, what's this thing that Umutulo keeps referring to? He waits late 6 foot. So shout out to you guys, man.
What is it?
Yeah. So big leaps, man.
A special shout out, Mr. Maps. I think I told you this last week. Special shout out to one of our listeners, man. Remember there was a time when did we crack a joke? It wasn't a joke. When you pulled out the stats and you're like, oh guys, we got like listeners over the age of 50 or whatever. And then you were like, I'm coming. You were like laughing. You are coming there. Okay, no, let me let you get there before I do my shout out. Let me let you get there. All right.
Yeah, no. So we're still at the geographic locations.
The country,
the United Kingdom. I know your government is in turmoil at the moment, but shout out to you all for still keeping the podcast around. Obviously, our residents in Zimbabwe, you can't count on Zesa or the government, but you can count on 6 foot weights to be there for you. So shout out to the people. US, that's number 4 in terms of where the bulk of the listeners are coming from. And then Aussie is growing slowly but surely. Aussie's a bit shy, and so is Canada. So that's where the bulk of the listeners are coming from, and Germany too, man. I know the funny thing about the peeps in Germany, I'm seeing them. They're like one by one. They like to be silent. They like to be silent and pretend that, we don't listen. And then they'll randomly be like, hey, that thing on the pod. I'm like, can't you win? So I don't know what it is about the guys.
Can't you are within?
I don't know what it is, man. Like, you can't listen to this podcast, and if they get caught, they'll be in trouble. My papers are swear or something. I don't know.
If the home office catches you screaming 6 foot away.
Exactly. No, I don't know what it is about the residents of Germany, but too much. So I don't know what's going on there. But other than that, the rest of it is spread all over the place, man. Let me see if there's a country that I haven't seen in or haven't mentioned in previous episodes. Obviously, Nigeria, standard. Namibia, Mexico. I haven't mentioned Mexico. South Korea, dog. Shout out to whoever is in South Korea.
South Korea.
Gambia. Okay. Let's see what else is here. Israel. Yes. Yeah. Abantu bakaJesu, the chosen ones. Siyabonga. And then what do you have here? Austria. We have Luxembourg. Yabona moyo. Producer kone Lux. So it's lit. It's lit. And then the Isle of Man. I think we spoke about this one, right? We spoke about the Isle of Man.
We did speak about it. And then I got my bearings completely off.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
In terms of where it was.
I wish I could remember which episode that was, because that was funny. Got Haiti, got Taiwan, Malaysia, Maldives, bro. Whoever's in Maldives, hit a brother up with a discount in it. So
let's my ticket, Pela. How?
Yeah. Look, come on. If you love the pod,
try something.
DM us, and we'll record a special episode for the people from the Maldives, live from the. Do you think? Quick question, Seth. Do you think our partners would agree if this happened? Right, we have a listener that says, "I pull up to the Maldives." Record an app, whatever it is, just you guys can be here for a couple of days, right? 5 days or whatever it is. But it's just one ticket for Tabo, one ticket for Seth. Do you think our partners would allow?
Hey.
Because I know who him Nyayala. Go him up like like that. There's no way you're going to see that blue vat without me, dog. Like this. Jack. I know my wife.
The thing is,
like, it's fine. You're just paying for my ticket.
but then
that would be her.
But then if I could get away with it if I made it, if I flipped it in such a way which I'm Kambalo Tabo, so it ain't nothing weird. You get what I mean, right?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I don't know. Besties are under attack right now, dog. Besties are, so I might not be a viable option. If you best anything that KSC, it's a bit tense. We have a
serious times.
So that's again, that's foreshadowing. So I don't know. Besties are under attack again. I don't know if Sena can Bopankani for the I don't know how manyth time to think this is okay, but again we'll get into that. People in Bermuda, like it's long. It's like bruh, like Puerto Rico, bruh, Chile, Bolivia, bruh, like what? Are people just using
Wait, tell quick one.
Because like this is mad.
Does it make a difference who's buying the ticket to like all these places? Let's say it's a ticket to Bermuda or the Maldives. Does it make a difference if the ticket is being bought by a Grootman or the ticket is being brought by a mama?
So I in my situation, she wouldn't care. It's about where you're going. It's not about how you're getting there. It's the location. So there's certain countries where I know I can't go without her. Like at least the first time. The first time can't be without her. So there's just certain places where just there's no. If Senna was like, "Hey, gents trip, we're going to Bali," I'd have to legit go with my wife to Bali like a month before our trip because she's not allowed to go. That's kind of how my situation is set up. She just would like, no, I don't care. Uguti, you guys agreed, and going. If we don't go to Bali together first, you're not going on this boys trip. That's kind of how things are. So there's certain countries where it's a no. I'll tell you immediately, guys, I can't do this country. So
well,
that's my situation.
Okay, fair enough. I have that, but with Jamaica. I think if I went to myself, it might be an issue.
Oh yeah, no, Jamaica would be a tough sell. But anyway, moving to Guatemala, bro. Come on! Shout out to my Latinos. I don't know. Guatemala is a Latin country, right? I hope I'm correct. I hope so. I'm pretty
last
sure
time I tried
Guatemala
to make
is a Latin country. But there's Colombia. So, okay, we can be sure about Colombia and Dominican Republic. Okay. Well, half of Dominican Republic. Anyway, half of the Dominican Republic. In terms of listeners, again, Apple Podcasts is the most... It's almost 50-50 actually right now with Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts, and then other. I don't know what other is. In then devices, obviously, this is a bougie podcast, so 65% iPhones, so shout out to our iPhone, 28% Android, thanks. And again 7% other, so shout out to Lina Lamachi Tide, Siyabonga still, a listen is a listen. We'll take it. And then gender, bruh, I don't know what happened. I checked this on I was in class all weekend, shit. So like on Saturday or Sunday, I checked this, and we were at about 60%, 63% female, something along those lines, right? 62, 63. Yeah. We are at 72% female listenership, fam. I don't know what
72.
Happened. Who is telling these women that this is a podcast for them? It's not. It's not. So I don't know whoever's referring the podcast and sending it to their friends. Guys, can you communicate the right message? This is a toxic masculine podcast. All right? Can we get the about correct? We need to get the synopsis. You don't just send someone, training them like, oh yeah, it's a rom-com. Watch it with your wife. No, that's not what training day is. You know what I mean? Like, it's not... Guys, I think let's get on brand. Let's understand.
I actually think the more you try to be...
Tune in.
I think the more you try to force the toxicity down, Tabo, the more the women will come and start listening to it even more.
Which is a problem, because now they can't cry foul and be like, hey, all these niggas is toxic. But
I never expected it.
Like, it's like, nah, come on, pick one. Are we complaining? This is why we always say, what do we say about Twitter? It's not a real place. Because on Twitter, toxic men are slandered, right? But in real life, you're looking
They
at
get all the
toxic
hands.
guys to listen to the podcast. It's like, what? Are you looking for ammunition? So maybe 30% of this 72% is looking for ammunition to use on Twitter. To be like, you see, this is the issue with guys having pod. Maybe it is, right? Maybe the opposite.
Nah.
So
I think
don't know.
I think we have people who genuinely enjoy the thing, and shout out to them.
No, but guys, please make a plan. 27% male. Like no.
No,
Like,
but much
guys,
can't be serious.
Yeah, it's can't be serious. Like guys, no. Honestly, I'm speaking to the man.
No, like speaking
share
to the
it.
gents now,
literally
like
right
hi.
now, share it with the gent who doesn't listen. We need next week. I need to see this week percentage. You go 27. Say next week. Next week, as quail, maybe let's have the target be 35% male. That's the target for this. So next week, Senna will double check on the gender locusin. Then 2% is non-specified. So again, we're a very inclusive podcast, Tina. So yeah, those who didn't want to specify, yeah, also welcome here. It's we don't judge. It's feel safe. Then age, that's another thing. It's another thing that's very important. 0% of people 0 to 17 years old. Lovely. That's what we want to see. Keep it at 0.
We
and
give
then
thanks.
The largest. Holy shit! Again, Senator, these stats changed, bruh. Like completely.
Okay.
Do you know
What's it saying now?
44% of our audience is between the ages of 35 to 44. What?
Wasn't it like 20 something initially in the beginning? Mid to late 20s?
It was the 28 to 35 or 23 to 27. Those are the biggest demographics.
Initially,
so
right?
I am shook. Yeah, and that's what it's always been for a very, very long time. So I don't know who's listening to this? Because I'm shook. Literally. Again, if you're 23 to 30, we always knew that was the bulk of the listenership. But if you're saying 35 to 40, whose parents are listening to this podcast? Because but anyway,
Stella lisiphendule guys via email.
Whose parents are these? Then obviously 1% are 45 to 59, and that's probably just my dad. So that's shout out to you that listening to the pod. And then 60 plus 2% of the audience is 60 plus years old, and wow, we have a crazy spread of listeners that enjoy the pod. Mr. Moyo, you can give your shout out now, but again, this data is very, very peculiar. It's very interesting.
No, it is interesting. I think it was a few months ago, maybe even a year ago actually, when we got an email from one of our listeners who basically immediately said, look, I am one of the 50 plus year olds, blah, blah, blah. And then she went on to just give us tips and just opinions about what she thought of the podcast, right? So since then, we'd release episodes. She come back with feedback, amazing feedback. Always. So a few weeks back, she was like, no, look, I'll be in Cape Town. If you're free, Mr. Moyo, pull up for a drink. So that was actually the first time actually meeting someone who listens to the podcast that I didn't know before we started doing the podcast. So we went for dinner in Cape Town there by the waterfront, chilled with her. Such a top. Now moment.
I didn't get dinner, bruh. All right, sharp. So I'm also waiting because it's not. You can't just buy one dinner. It doesn't work like that.
What do you mean doesn't work like that?
It's still pending on my side, so the bill hasn't been fully paid.
Well, it was really great. She took me out for dinner with me and my girlfriend as well. It was really nice. Sakuluma spoke about different topics about the podcast, about stuff outside the podcast. Really amazing woman. Her name's Wendy. And I want to give a special shout out to you. We give thanks for the support and for listening. Next time you're in Cape Town, we must do it again.
No,
We'll
first
make
of
sure.
all, we start with the Dubai. Let's not or if she's restricted by geographic location, guys. Next time I'll announce when I'm coming to SA, so that our Funama dinners and you know, at this point, you might as well open an OnlyFans, right? Because we're taking requests. Start revenue.
Speak for yourself.
OnlyFans.
Speak for yourself.
We'll be there. We'll do.
But no, it was
but like
yeah.
There's people who do like I'm a FaceTime and shit on OnlyFans. So we'll be like, yeah, we'll go open an OnlyFans. You want to FaceTime me? You know, 30 minutes. I'll give you 30 minutes of my time. We'll make it like $200 for 30 minutes. You know, we'll see how we can
how we can do that.
Fucking hilarious.
But the funny thing is, what I found out from just our conversation, so she mentioned that she listens to the podcast, particularly when she either goes for her walks, I think, and when she does like chores and cleaning and stuff. When we don't release the thing, Mr. Maps, do you know that chores don't get done?
Really?
And this is actually, she's not the first person to say this. I think there's someone else who also said the same thing. With you guys, my dishes are waiting.
No, there's another ngi where I think I tweeted out that we're gonna be late by like a few hours, and then he was like, "Hey, I've put aside meetings or something." I was like, "Yo,
It's like the work I was meant to be
man.
doing earlier is still waiting for me.
Nah, that's awesome. But apologies for keeping, you know, people delayed in terms of shit that they need to do. But we'll have something. I think once we have a bit more time on our hands, we'll have some bonus episodes that we'll just keep saved in drafts for the dry weeks where, you know, we couldn't get
Something
something
pops
out
up.
to the people. Yeah, but okay. But what do you think? Question. What do you think is our most streamed episode? All-time number one episode?
You know what, right? There's the one we did with Tinto recently, where I think we've had a lot of interactions regarding that. I think a lot of people have just taken and warmed to that one. So I will say, between this one with Tinto or the first one we did with King Kandoro, I'll say.
So between those two,
I'll say this most recent one we did with Tinto a few weeks back.
you are correct, sir. So our most successful episode is Mr. Put It In, and yeah, now that one was big, bro. It's big. So it's number one by a mile, and it's still going. So it's yeah, definitely that one. Even, you know what's funny, once we finished it and I was doing the editing and stuff like that and coming up with the trailer for that episode, I knew I was like and it was one of those where I couldn't wait for people to listen to it, because in my mind, when we were recording and even like I felt even more
Afterwards.
sure when I was editing. I was like, I don't know, you know what? Lapa will do something. Like, Lapa's piggy. Like, like, yo, Tinto needs to come back once a month type of thing. Like, it was that solid of an episode. Where, and the beauty of, for people that don't know, like, we plan things, but barely. Like, it's bare minimum, just like, yeah, we'll talk about this. But it's not like, you know, nobody writes down a lot. It's just the point, the key point of, okay, I want to talk about,
it's like,
you know, relationships, and then we go into it. You know, I never know what Senna's gonna say. He doesn't know. Tinto also just came in as Tinto, and it's just it was crazy how,
you know what,
everything just happened.
I didn't know he was gonna talk about his breakup story. Like I know he'd come to talk.
I knew it.
I actually, for some reason, in my
it.
head, it didn't click with, okay, he's gonna come chat about.
So you know what it is. I think and this is why people get in trouble with podcasts and stuff like that, right? When they feature on random podcasts, it's when you get on a certain podcast, and we were talking about this with like Mac G, right? Where Mac G is able to disarm individuals, and all of a sudden something that they were never going to talk about or he didn't plan to, it's now turned into some wild shit, right? So I feel
Yeah.
like in obviously because this is not his first time here, he's chilling with the bros. It was one of those environments where he's just like, you know what? Let me let
Cool.
this one go. Right. And then because initially he was like, okay, I'll give you the spark notes, and then when you're telling a story, people are feeling the story and people are hyping
Yeah.
you. Like you're like, you know what? Let me drop some bars for these niggas. You know what I mean? You get to that point where like because you're being hyped, you're like, no, I can't leave people hanging. So I think honestly speaking, even without some of the other details that we could have gotten, it was perfect.
That was still
The
amazing.
reactions
Still
were
amazing.
crazy. People, it was definitely a fun episode to do with Tinto, and I'm sure he enjoyed himself. Telling the story. We'll definitely get him back in for another one. Or I'm thinking of another idea with him actually. But yeah, number 2 is the first one with King Kandoro, which is Zas in the Binak, episode 43. So that's our number 2 most successful one. That one was also that story that he told, bruh. I'll never forget
It
that
was
story,
also
bruh.
that's the one where he
Yeah.
went into the cold. He was chilling till 4 a.m. outside a girl's
Yeah.
house. Hey, thank God he's like
Fancy,
married
bruh.
now and he's wholesome. Over. What kind
Yeah,
of behavior is that?
we thank God he's in a good place. He's in a good place right now. He's in a happy place because and you know what's weird? What's sad rather? Our most successful episodes are when guys are opening up and being vulnerable. That's the wild part about
And they're
this.
talking about their heartbreak
When we as gents
at the
talk
hands of
about
women.
exactly, at the hands of women. They out here like, yo, this is what we want to hear, and it's like, and again, ladies, 72% of it, the problem, because we've had people here, we've had Nat here come and tell people some L's and shit like that, and y'all don't flock the same way when it's like, let me hear this nigga tell this L. So again, ladies, have a private discussion. Let's be fair. Let's divide up the reactions equally so that it's proper. But I mean, yeah, the rest are obviously our first ever episode. I don't know why people go to that. I don't know. Maybe I'll listen to it again. I don't like that.
I did
especially
listen to
with
it.
how much we've grown.
So I've
do you
listened to
think?
it
What do you
a
think
couple
of
of times. I cringe when I listen to it. No lie, dog. I do. So, for example, no, I do cringe because it's like we're not really sure what we're doing, and that was our third attempt,
Yeah.
was it? It was our third or fourth attempt to get going.
Second or third.
Then it must
Second,
have been the
fourth, somewhere
third.
there.
It was the third. It was the third attempt to do it, and that was. It's not like we were happy with it.
Oh yeah,
We were
it
just
was
like,
the third.
okay,
It
this
was
is
the third. Yeah.
this is good enough, right? So then whenever
Yeah.
people say, okay, no, so you have like over 90 episodes or whatever now, which one should I listen to?
Yeah.
I always go to the favorite, to the favorite ones, the ones that I know that, okay, no, this was good. The
Yeah.
first ones, I'm always like, to anyone who says, yo, I want to listen to your pod, I never ever say go right to the beginning.
Yeah, I say start backwards. Start with the latest and go backwards
And work backwards.
That's what I say. Yeah, so that they progressively get worse. No, I'm kidding. I think honestly, I would say no. There's a third item which was fire. The Bry one, and then the Bry one is when we were like right.
Oh yeah, the Bry one. The
Yeah.
Bry one was the
So
second one we got out, yeah.
I think was it the second one?
Yeah.
So second onwards, I'm cool. Anything from the second one onwards, I'm cool with that. And obviously, yeah, we've grown. It's one of those things where I knew we just had to get into it and just get to a place where we get comfortable, and then once we're comfortable, then we can really start rocking and rolling. But it's been in terms of our non-feature episodes, apart from the first one, the ZRP Adam slapped. That one's up there. That's in the top 5.
Which one, the ZRP one?
Remember when sorry, not ZRP, the major leagues. Remember when ZRP pulled up on
and the Major League guys. Yes. I remember that.
Yes, that one. And then Throat Goat when that other woman, there's a dead lady,
Nancy Reagan.
apparently. Yes. Oh, Reagan. Yeah, that's Reagan. Yeah, that That one was a slapper, and then I don't know this one, episode 65, peer pressure. I don't know what we were talking about on that one. And then Nats Adam is also top 10. Okay, sorry. I take
Bananas in Pajamas.
Nats is top 10. So yeah, that one is up there. Listen, so if you're listening to episode 64, that's a slapper. Go listen to that one. And then obviously 32 on brand finale. That one was also that one was wild. We have some wild siyazama. So listen to episode 32. I'd say so. Okay. So in terms of recommendations to people, if you haven't heard this, if you're new, episode 89, 43, 86, 31, 69, 74, 65, 32, 64. Those, I think that's our top 10. And yeah, you can throw in 61 as well. And then again, everything else is great, but those are the ones that are really trapped in the cooch. You know what? I'm actually very, very proud of how I name these episodes. Like I see some titles and I'm like, man,
that was powerful.
that was a good one. Like I literally will pat myself on the back and I'll just be like, bruh, cryptocurrency? Come on, fam.
Nah, that's powerful. That's powerful.
Like,
no, big ups to you. It's witty and it's creative.
No, siyazama. Pardon my meat? Like what? What are we talking about, man?
To be honest, that's actually a difficult thing to do. So on the weeks when you're not here, and maybe they say I record with someone else, then I'll send the audios to Lindo, and then she'll put it together, and then she'll come to me and she'll say, what do you have as the name? I'm like, what the fuck? I don't know. I'm like, Lindo, just listen to it and pick anything. Literally anything. Make a plan. Now it's and she goes, okay, cool. And then at some point something will just come and be like, okay, go with this. And that's how it is. But I'm like, no, it's not an easy process, I must say.
It takes, I think you have to listen to the entire episode. So for me, normally, especially in the beginning, I had to listen to the whole thing, and then either something that I say, you say, we laugh at, something. And then I play with that in my mind and see what's funny, edgy, interesting, because again, I'll go back to Brilliant Idiots, one which is literally my favorite podcast, right? Outside of this one, obviously. The latest episode was titled, "What's a glizzy to a gobbler?" That was the name of the episode.
Glizzy to a
gobbler. I was just like, what the fuck? Yeah. I was like, okay, this has to be interesting. Like, to come up with a title like that. And I made sure, so like I listen obviously, but like sometimes I'll just, I won't be pressed to listen to it, but I know sometime during the week I'll get to it. This one, I was like, no, during the weekend, let me actually listen. And obviously, with a title like that, it was a freaking hilarious episode. So I think, some of these things, with the way people think, is like, you just have to have someone, if you look at the title, you're like, nah, come on. Like, certain titles, they really get you interested to know what's going to go on. Even with like Tinto's, like Mr. Put It In, and it's like featuring, like,
and he never got to put it in.
The irony, man. Oh, man. Like, I still hurt from this.
Yeah.
Like, we need to get eBay. If eBay Bay is listening to the pod, come through. Come tell your side.
Yeah, come tell your side of the story.
We're very fair over here. Tell us.
We're equal opportunity misogynists.
Chunas Alpha. Even item Tando. Check Tando at DM. Check her at DM and be like, yo, hey, what are you saying?
You know what the funny thing about Twitter is, right? I feel like Twitter has made us all like one big community, right? To an extent where we cherish each other's wins. So happiness as well. So and so love lives here. We are happy, we applaud.
Absolutely. We'll like, we'll retweet, we'll comment.
We're also sad. But the thing is, right, the unfortunate thing with Twitter is, unfortunately, we we are exposed only to that window that the particular person chooses to share, and that's brilliant. And then goes in countries just
Yeah.
one good unfortunately. And then we're just curious. And then you invite people to come on the pod.
Yeah.
Just please tell us what happened. Lapa.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like, if we were involved in your happiness, when it's now says Kala, we need to know. We need to know, fam. Like, what your nigga was all over Insta as somebody. Hi. Come and tune us. We need to know. Because me, I liked him. He seemed like a cool dude. What's going on? What's going on? I need to find out. But anyway, Mr. Moore, I think we need to actually move into today's menu. There's so much, bro. There's so much. I'm gonna try and keep us moving really, really quickly.
Okay.
So that we can get to everything. Almost. Oh yeah. Siyazama is gonna be wild today.
Okay.
So I wanted to start with a thread that I saw on Twitter.
Okay.
And it was like, so this guy, he was telling a story about how he got into a car accident, and like how I guess he almost died. Like it was a serious car accident, and he's telling his like success story, which I've recovered. It isn't just this sharp. I'm on my way. I'm on the right track. But the way he wrote the thread, this is at T Matsika, and the way he wrote the thread was very, very like. I was like, okay, I get the whole thing of it is supposed to be is like, oh, I'm so happy for you, right? That's meant to be the feeling. But then there were moments where I found myself laughing and also questioning certain things in the thread. Because I'm like, these are such random details to put in. And I was by the end of the thread, I was left feeling like I didn't know how to feel.
Okay.
Like, am I like, oh yeah, happy for you, great? Or am I laughing? Or am I concerned? You know what I mean? So like, there were so many things where. Anyway, so I'll read it, and then you let me know what your feelings are. Because like literally, again, the first tweet foreshadows how the rest of the thread.
Okay.
So he posts a picture of him in the, like get you in the ambulance and they put you in the bed, item, neck brace, all that shit, right? So he posts that picture, and so he says, 8 years ago, my life was permanently changed. I still play it back, trying to figure out what went wrong, and today I realized I should have just fully committed to cheating instead of chickening out and going to drink with the boys. But on a more serious note, don't drink and drive.
Okay.
So again, I'm like, oh, like, is this a joke thing? Is this a serious? Like, so you know what I mean? Like, I was confused, right? I'm like, what's going on? So then I scroll and I see, oh, okay, cool, it's a thread, right? And again, so now keep in mind, there's a picture of my man
in an ambulance, right?
So I'm like, I'm pretty sure this is serious. Like, we're not playing around, yeah. So the thread goes on. He says, this one is funny. So to the next location or whatever is never worth it. Yes, I always preach that, guys. When someone says, "Uti, let's go."
Second location.
I told you, Uti. I went out with Bibsy and them in Joburg, and we were in Rosebank. We had a good time. Sharp, everyone was lit. Yeah. Then it's like 1 a.m. or whatever when they were closing. 1 a.m., 2 a.m. type thing, and I'm like, right, I'm going back to my hotel. Sharp, guys, this was amazing. See you tomorrow. Bibsy and Co say, you know what? Let's go to Bram. We're going a great day. And I'm first of all, it's like, Bram, 2 in the morning. I was like, no, guys. I know this one is not for me. I love groove, but I know Great Dane is a great place. I've been there during the day, on a random Saturday. Yes, it was great, but no, not for me. So Bibsy and I think four or five others went. Obviously, I wake up the next day. I'm literally lit, right? So I once I get to my bed, knock out. Wake up in the morning to like 4 or 5 missed calls, messages. Hey, brah, hey. I'm like, what's going on? Call Pips. Guys, what happened? Fam, when we were leaving Great Dane, we were robbed. The guys got Pipsy and started kicking him.
How?
Well, it was. I was like, you see? No. It was literally guys got chased down the street. And I'm like, why would you guys walk in an empty street? Like, it just, again, the second location, the whole point of this story.
Second location is not a good
Second
idea.
location is never, ever worth it. Don't do it. Don't do it. But anyway, going back to the thread. Because second location is never worth it. When the car was upside down, again, you see,
the car was upside down.
So when the car was upside down,
okay.
Yes, when the car was upside down and Skeleu was playing while the wheels continued to roll, it all seemed trivial. During the 6-month hospital stay, I kept thinking to myself, we couldn't have just stayed where we were, right? So again, I get it. It is serious, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then now, when I imagine, you know, the car being upside down and skeleton, to me, that was funny. It was only funny just because I got into an accident once, right? When I had my provisional. I was driving with my cousin, and it wasn't my fault, but anyway, there was an accident, and I hit the rear end, like just the back end of a car, and then I had to slam on the brakes, and you know, car stopped eventually, and in all of that, chaos,
song was playing.
The radio was still playing. So in your mind, you're like, what the fuck? What's just happened? And it was even an even worse experience. We were driving with my dad. Even younger, I think we were probably grade 3, grade 3 max grade 4, somewhere there. And we were going to fill up pussy. And you wanna, just as you get onto the highway, when you're leaving now, skies on Kwanda Relapana. Really, Auga Figila said Chipangale, you're literally just passing the sunny side, right? The road is obviously going all the way to Kwanda, but that road it's got on either side is sort of like a ditch. Right, so it's not flat ground. Like the road is slightly raised, and there's like a ditch on either side ish. So I don't know what my dad did, but essentially he was wearing like Ama sandals, and he took it off whilst he was driving, but it slid under the brake. It went too far under the brake. So there was a moment where he had to slam on the brakes, but he couldn't hit the brakes
because
someone.
there's something under.
You know, when you're behind a car, you're both moving at a similar speed, right? You're a little bit behind. You know, not directly following, but you're behind a car, and then that car, obviously, because something in front of them happens, they take evasive action. So it turns out that, you know, the car that my dad was following moves out of the way, and then what is in front is a completely stationary, something along those lines. So now, obviously, we're about to rear end these guys. So my dad swerves, and then we go off road, and the car rolls.
Whoa!
Yeah. So what was funny? Yeah, we went
Like,
off road.
wait, what do you mean by the car rolls?
Ditch. Car rolls, but only one roll. Rolled like.
Kantabo, you're talking about a proper
It
accident.
like rolled on its side.
What the hell? Why are you so chill? And why don't I know?
But the thing is, because it's from the perspective. it's the perspective of me as a child, right? Where it honestly happened so quickly, I didn't even realize my life was in danger. Like, it happened so quickly, and that's the crazy thing about death. Death can, like in a car accident, can happen so quick, bro. Like, bah, one next thing your lights are out, yeah. So the car rolls, and then it was like the Mazda, was it the Mazda or the Mitsubishi? But I think it was a Mazda pickup truck, single cab, like the old ones from like 1990. That square item, right? It was one of those. So me and my little brother were in the front seat. My dad, we just stopped in town. He bought us ama drinks. My little brother had the Scarlet, the purple one, and I think I had the yellow one in the glass bottles. This is the era that we were in the glass locuzins. And we're literally in the car. We're going to fill up pussy. Hey, that's all I know. Okay, sharp, let's go there. And next thing, car rolls. Windows are all shattered and smashed and whatever. And I don't even think me and my brother had seatbelts on. Like, I doubt it.
It's highly unlikely in a single cab.
Next thing, like, you're flipping. Yeah, exactly. Two. So what we flip. All of a sudden, the drinks are in the air, and like it was so quick, bro. Like literally 1 second, wow, it happened. And next thing, the car is upright. Luckily, the car was upright. So I think that's why I have like not happy, but like chilled memories about it, just because it wasn't anything crazy. And then now we get out of the car. My dad obviously is panicked. Like, he's just literally panicked. Hey, like hoping his kids are good. Like, he's good, all this other stuff. And I think he was bleeding a bit. And then my brother, my younger brother starts crying because he's just like, he's shook. Because then I also start laughing at him because his face was now purple because the glass broke and then his drink splashed on his face. So half his face is purple from the spotlight. So I'm literally like, yo, you're purple. And then he's just like, yo. So it was luckily, again, it was a bad accident, but it wasn't the worst thing.
Okay, no one was injured.
And we still continued. Like, so we went.
What do you mean you still
got
continued?
Another car and still drove to. Yeah, we went back. So we went home and then, changed cars because obviously that one was totaled. And then we went to Philapusi still.
Wait. Your father didn't think, okay, I know Mr. Maposa is listening to this, man.
No, so
he had to pick my words wisely.
The other context. So here's the other. Here's the other context of it. I don't think he had a choice. So we were going to see my mom.
Yes.
My mom was in Philapusi. And obviously, if you then call as father of the children and say, we've just been in an accident, the kids are fine, but, this has happened. I'm pretty sure my mom was like, I don't care. I need to see my kids. I'm pretty sure that was the reaction. Right. So I think the reason we still went
so that your mom could have peace of mind.
And again, I remember that journey. That journey was slow, bro. That drive to Philapusi, that one was slow. It was a chilled Sunday drive. And I'm like, bro, I can't imagine what he was going through in his mind. Because you used to
dog trauma.
Like, when you're in an accident, like, things just... Yeah, that trauma is still there. And he said, so we went, came back, and it was crazy. But, like, that's the only and the worst accident that I've been in. The one that I was in when I was a driver, when I was now, like, 16 or whatever, that one wasn't too bad.
That one
like,
was...
Literally, it was just, I was doing, like, 60, 80. So that one was easy to get over. Like, all the, parties involved, it was whatever. The guy was drunk who I hit and all this other stuff. Like, so that one wasn't bad. But anyway, so when he said the car rolled and Skelly was still playing, in my mind I flashed back to those two moments and I was just like, this is funny. But anyway, so this man is being serious, but I'm like, why are you adding all these things where like...
Wait, side note.
Right?
Did your dad ever take you to the hospital?
Yeah.
At any point? Just check up all of you, even himself?
Nah. I don't remember.
Nah.
I don't remember in the hospital. So I remember the car. So remember I told you that there was a car in front of us that got out of the way, right? So it was a Pajero or something like that was being driven by like a white family, and I remember specifically this white woman came they hit the brakes because obviously they saw what happened in the rear view. So they hit the brakes, came back. Oh my God, are you guys okay? Like literally, she was losing her shit, right? And I'm good. I'm alright. I mean, my drink's gone, but
I'm survived.
It is what it is. But I really don't remember going. They just checked us on the spot. I don't know. Maybe an ambulance came. I don't even remember an ambulance. I think the drivers at fault sorted each other out, and I don't even remember cops. Maybe cops were there, but it was very. Okay, we're good.
I can imagine your dad checking the car. It's like, right, right, let's go home. Change car.
No, fam. I remember that was the first time where I seen him genuinely concerned. He's a cool customer all the time. So that was the first time where he was genuinely are you guys good? They're like, yeah, we're good. No worries. But yeah, I would never forget my brother's face being purple. That was funny. That was the funniest thing in the world to me. But anyway, so he then, my man goes on to thank some friends who were there for him. Let me see if this was anything. Yeah, okay, again, this thread, bro. So he goes, forever grateful to my constant visits from, person A and person B and Lisa. And they kept me sane until, of course, the unfortunate incident that got Lisa banned. In her defense, I told her she was allowed on the bed, but the nurses kept shouting the bed
wait, what?
Patients to rest. Bro, I'm literally bro, I don't know how to feel, right? And then this is even funnier. So then he goes, also my barber in brackets, God rest his soul, I'm assuming the barber passed away, always made sure that I had the freshest fade in the entire ward. And that's how Nurse Shalom and Physio Viv fell for me. I had to get dreadlocks after he passed because no one else could get a fade like him. And the guy literally does have dreadlocks. And I'm just like, bruh, I don't know. Like, I'm literally confused. My feelings, my emotions are just lost of how I'm supposed to be reacting to this. Because doctors said I had to keep in contact with the outside world to avoid falling into depression. So my mom took it upon herself to text me. Hans would text me about intimate ways they wanted to cheer me up. And I had to keep a straight face whilst I said... I had to keep a straight face while I said text the next times, please. And then he says, don't judge me though. I was depressed and needed some intimate uplifting. Also, you guys use your mothers as wingmen all the time when they tell multiple women they're going to be her future daughter-in-law, which is fair. That is true. It says, anyways, after 8 years of painkillers and 24/7 chronic pain, I can't honestly say I'm relieved, but it is what it is. We adjust our dreams and we start being afraid of magnets because of our neck is held together by titanium and we keep it moving. I lost focus somewhere, but the point is don't drink and drive. As a final word, let me say it took me over a year of physiotherapy just to have basic balance while sitting in 5 years of occupational therapy to write well enough to start this degree. So whatever you're going through, working on, maybe keep at it. So that was pretty much the thread. So like I said, I was just confused.
You know what?
I was very, very confused.
I'll say shout out to what did you say his name is? T Matika. What you said his handle is. No, shout out to that brother.
Yeah.
The story is inspirational because there's a lot to take away there, but not giving up and still pursuing, your dreams in spite of a life-changing incident. And then on top of that, there's obviously Uguti, don't drink and drive, right? The underlying message above all is Uguti, no, after everything, guys, remember, stay sober while you do this. But a part of me found that whole thread funny, dog. I'm like,
me too. That's what I'm saying. I was like, bro, like I feel bad because I'm like, am I supposed to be laughing at
this man? Was this man getting cheeks while he was in hospital?
It's a lot. That's
from the physio like? and the nurses.
Bro, I was like, the whole the incident that got Lisa kicked out. Like, what was the incident, dog?
Like can you like continue? I just want him to like expand on some of these things,
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like my man needs to expand the whole like, Chief, tell us what's like. I need to like you put too much humor in here where it's just like But yeah, no, he's absolutely right. The second location, never ever do it, guys. When people say, "Hey, Asambe Lapana," stay put, stay where you are, and go home. And it's
I have a very
no, interesting question.
Like, I wonder how he views his game as in getting hands before and after the accident, right? Because he says that whilst he was in hospital and recovering, Hans would text like intimate ways in which they can cheer him up. And like, I wonder if post how he views Hans post the accident, whether he feels like it, how can I put it, made him more confident in how he approaches it, or just made them easier to get.
Maybe. I mean, must have been hella sympathy cheeks on the table, though. So if he was smart enough to capitalize, then hey, But shout out to the boy. Glad man is recovering. That's the most important thing in his message. And it sounds like mentally he's in a good place to be talking about all of this. It's always a good sign when someone is in good spirits to talk about a dark period in their life. So yeah. But it was definitely a thread where I was like, this is cool. Like I I would subscribe to more.
It's well written.
It's like that.
Brilliantly written.
Where it's just not just like, it was just, this and that. And yeah, but no, it sounds like he's definitely a dope guy. But let's see, McDonald's Gate. What's that?
So I actually came across a shout out to Nat and Cody again. It was a snippet they uploaded of their upcoming episode, Mr. Maps. It'll be available, I think. If you go on Girl and Skies and you go to Patreons, you'll be able to get that episode where they talk about the McDonald's Gate. So basically, what happened, Mr. Maps? It's a Patreon episode,
so
but the video itself is available on social media. The video that triggered the discussion, I think, is available everywhere on social media. Basically,
is it the one where the guy refused to bring McDonald's for the other kids? Is that the one?
So for context, for those who haven't seen the video, you just go look for it online. I'm sure you'll find it. A guy has a baby mama. Baby mama has 3 other kids, and I think with this particular guy, I think she has 2 kids or 1 kid. I'm not sure. It's just okay. So it's probably 3
I think
kids.
it was 1, right?
And then 1 with
she got
Ugai,
3,
right?
and then 1 with Ugai.
So Ugai, when he's coming to see baby mama, he only brings McDonald's for his kid and his kid alone, right? And I was just catching Nat and Boy talk about. I think they were saying Uguti he should have, brought for all of them. But I want to get your thoughts, Mr. Maps, because when he shows up, right, this woman is complaining, saying, "Hey, how could you just buy for your kid alone? When you met me, I was I'm the baby mama you chose, and I have other kids. So please, can you do the right thing?"
Yeah,
I think
and
so.
He knew the
I'm not
kids
sure
from
if he
before.
knew them from before.
Yeah, I think they had a relate. So my understanding was she's already got 3 kids, right? And then he met her, and then they have a kid together. So the kids are very familiar. So he was a stepdad at the time, and then obviously I guess they split up, and then he's no longer the stepdad. So now he's just father to one of the 4. Okay. That's how I kind of interpreted from the information that I got. That's how I see the situation. And in that situation, I think he was wrong. If they actually had a relationship where he knew the other kids, right? Not Tuguti, we're just smash buddies, and then you happen to get pregnant, and then now all of a sudden I'm the baby daddy to one of your 4 kids. In that context, I think it's slightly different, but generally my view is just I think if the kids know you, the kids have done nothing to you. The kids are innocent, and there's no need to kind of be petty in a way that now the kid, who knows psychologically how they could be feeling afterwards, like right, like tinage, and they won't know the adult dynamics, whether you hate the baby mama or not, whatever bad terms you guys might be.
The kids don't know it.
It has nothing to do with the kids, So I think definitely they shouldn't be dying for that. And if you really, and the other angle is maybe he's broke, right? And
best he can do,
the money that he had to do this one thing, like that's the best he can do. That's what the money looks like at the moment. Then at that point, okay, fair enough, but still, I would then call the baby mama and come outside and here's some juice. This is for my lighty, and then maybe she would probably still share
with the other kids
the food with the other kids. But even if she goes ahead and does that, whatever. But I wouldn't make it a spectacle. Wuti, hey, when my kid, here's McDonald's. Remember that story I told you with me and my friends. We had to give up his McDonald's in the car. Bruh, that shit is painful. But anyway, I just think generally bad move. Like anything that results in kids being on the losing end.
I generally I agree with you 100%. But then I just thought of it in this perspective. Let's say that they weren't in a relationship, right? And it just happens to be, this is my baby mama. I have never met any of your other kids. I know, Guti, you have kids, but I've never met any of your other kids. I don't have a relationship with them. it was a one-time thing. I mean, I'm now just paying my own sort of maintenance. We're never together. It was just
Yeah.
a one-time thing. You got pregnant, then there's a child, right? In such a scenario,
Yeah.
would he be justified, or you still think, nah, better way to handle it?
Yeah, I think even regardless,
Yes.
the fact that you know she's got multiple kids, right? I think if you're not obligated to get those kids food, right? The kids were not yours. It's not your obligation, right? But if you're not gonna get though, if you make the decision to say I'm only gonna buy food for my kid, then yeah, you need to
But
be
how you
very,
do
very
it.
strategic and
Yeah.
understand there are other kids in the house. So how you do it is going to be very, very important. If you put your foot down like no, really, I'm phony, then
Yeah.
okay, just be strategic. Because again, you and your baby mama can beef for days. I don't care about that. But the impact on young kids and stuff like that. There's so many people who have issues with being, not feeling like they're not good enough, feeling like they're unwanted, and all these other things. And it always stems from something in the childhood and shit like this, where it's like, bruh, like, especially in our culture where our parents accepted who and who and who, right? And some people come from families where there was a hierarchy, right? The OG kids of the parents, and then your cousin from Nkulumane, or your cousin from Kezi, that one is always the only one cleaning and whatever. It's like a completely different thing. Usena and the crew would go to family dinner at Gospel, and then that one gets left behind. That kind of shit. I think those type of things mess up somebody mentally in the long run. So if it would definitely be a case of, I think there needs to be for children, always, always, always fair treatment across the board, regardless of what the situation is. Because yeah, you knew she had kids. You know what I mean? Like I think if you agreed to have an intimate relationship with a mother of 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, then you are automatically signing up. It's like if you have unprotected sex with someone, my view is you are fine with that person getting pregnant. That's just my personal view. If you have unprotected sex, you have co-signed to say, yeah, if she's pregnant, sharp, it's okay with me. I'm ready for a child. That's really what you're saying. You're saying to know, Nkulunkulu, if it happens, I'm ready. Because if you're not, if you're really like, no, there's no way I can have kids, then either person needs to be on contraception or you use condoms. That really is what it needs to be, right? If you're gonna have engage in sex, like you have to take measures at the end of the day. But if you're not, it's just like, bruh, I'll pull out. And, chief. So that's what I mean at the end of it. If as long as there's kids involved, if you know I'm dating a mother of one, an M1, then yeah, you're signing up to be a part-time stepdad. Like that's just what it is.
Yeah.
Because kids are not going to be like, no, but this one is not the one that comes the queen.
Yeah.
And this one is this. You know what I mean? Like kids, it's like if you're going to be a father figure.
Yeah, and I think I 100% agree with you, because some of this extends, unfortunately, to like extended family dynamics, where Tologuti, there's been a split, or family, someone separated, whoever, and then now it's now time for someone to provide, right? And then you can't then come and say, I'm just picking my kid, because unfortunately, your kid is related to them other little niggas, right? It's not like those are strangers to you. Perspective which I think a lot of baby daddies don't look at. But those kids, they're your child's half sisters and brothers and whatever. So whatever you do, you kind of have to have that in the back of your head always. These aren't strangers from, because it's very easy for men, I think, and very tempting to just come up and say, oh no, Anami killed that, Anami picked me that, it's not my child, or something Anami, or whatever it is, and then you'll just be like, yeah, it's some other nigga's kid. No, they're your child's siblings at the end of the day, and that's something that you have to take into consideration.
Yeah. And you don't want a situation where now your lady, his or her siblings have resentment for them by no means of their own. They didn't want to create a divide, but then the adults in the room have created a divide. So at that point, it's like, nah, bro, come on. Like, which is why it is sad that, kids
Of
end
course,
up in the
of
losing side
course.
always of these type of things,
But anyways, those are my thoughts. I think once the episode of Girl in Skies is out and they go into it into more depth, you should definitely check it out.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Definitely an interesting topic. And
I didn't get scammed.
Did you get scammed?
I didn't get scammed. I've been scammed before, but not this time around. Dude.
How'd you get scammed?
Where do I start? You know what? So, no. This wasn't scam. This was probably like daylight robbery, if I actually think about it. Right? So, way back when I was still a youth, you know how back when... So, I never used to take combis to go home. I think... In Zim. So, primary school, Milton was in town. My parents drove through town every day. It was on their way home, so they always picked me up. And also, Woodville isn't exactly the place where you got damn JJs or you get on a combi and you go home. It's far. But in any event, we got to Whitestone. During my Whitestone years, I cycled or I got picked up. So I'd either cycle to school or cycle from school, or my parents would pick me up, right? So I never had to do combis. I started going via combi proper at CBC high school, when all of a sudden, now I'm older, I can go by myself, and on top of that, there's a whole bunch of other kids that are also using combi, so there's that whole thing. So I had holiday lessons this one time. I think it was Form 2, and then I'm walking through town, and this man stops me and he goes, now imagine the cheese boy in me, I'm sure everyone would still asleep this one. And he stops me and he goes, hey, sabona putunjani, hey, azintimusizo, hey, there's a truck where we're delivering and offloading some goods, but then kumele ngene phakathi ofisini khulume lo bani dog.
Oh yeah, they almost got me with one of those, bro.
So he's like, this is offloader kodwa kumele ngene ofisini laphana ngikhulume lo manager wakhona ukuthi basivulele, then bese siz offloader, then kodwa ngizadinga ukuthi nxa ngena phakathi wena ubuyenzani usalo gadi truck. So he points at the truck, I see the truck, and he's like, ubu gadi truck leya, and he's like, okay, cool. And then afterwards nxa sesiqedile kuzayenzani bazathi boy ungene, and then ungene la uzasinceda so offload sakubhadala. I think he mentioned something like $20. Now this is $20 to a high school child of about 40. Yeah, dude, I'm sure even $20 now ngaithatha if someone offered it for me. And but there's a lot that I could do back then, right, with $20.
Wait, this is what, Form 1?
I think Form 2. Form 2. Yeah, so it was about,
oh my god,
I was about 14. So obviously someone offering me USD, $20 USD. That time probably my parents have only given me like $5 for transport because they've packed a lunchbox for me, so I don't need that much money. He's like, no, I need someone else who's going to help you. He points at random guy also comes, he vumas, and then he's like, right. So I'm gonna give you these envelopes. So he gives us the envelopes. And it's like, no, fakani imali in phakathi so that you keep it on you. That way, siyakwazi ukuthi yakho imali ngiyiphi and then eyethu imali yiphi. I'm like, sharp. I'm being careful at this point. I'm thinking, okay, yeah, imali here it is. I take my money, I put it in the pocket. And then this man is like, all right, ndoda. When he calls the other guy, like, okay, when asambe singene phakathi. Like, sharp, cool. So I stay by the truck, right? I think I win. You laugh.
Oh my god. What's that
Yeah.
Wow. Continue. I'm not, but no.
So I think I waited there for I waited for a good half hour, right? Shout out to Carter, my friend Carter, to Daniel Nyalila. Carter that day. Blessed to know that man. So he's coming from school. He's working in town. Then I see Carter. I'm like, hey, Carter, how you doing? He's like, hey, SNL, what are you waiting for? I'm like, no, there's just some guys here that asked me to wait for them whilst they do something. Hey, but I've been waiting for 30 minutes now, dog. I'm now tired. So Carter lives in Hillside, right? So he lives like close to Hillside Dams.
Yeah.
So I remember that day because we catch our combis from the same place, Ekotin.
Same place.
So he catches the ones to Burnside as well. So I'm like, you know what, my guy, let's just go. At least I still have my money. Let's leave. So we go, walk all the way as I forget Kotin. So you know, obviously when you get to Kotin, you now start thinking of tengering, buying like ice mints and lollipops and whatever. So then I'm like, I have my money. So I take out the envelope. Dude, I was like not so upset. I'm a bearer's check. Bro,
oh my god!
I was so pissed.
Wow.
And the thing is this is like obviously I had $5 or whatever it was that was going to get me home, and they've replaced my $5. My bearer's check and all these things. I'm 10,000. This is money that's probably been like out of use for 3 years.
Yeah.
I remember I flipped. I was in the middle of
4
town.
years, dog.
Bruh, in the middle of town, I lost my shit. Like, what the actual fuck? Like, whoa. They got so. Fortunately, I'm with Carter, so I'm like, yo, Carter. I think back then combis were R5. I'm like, yo, Carter, score me R5. I'll pay you back at school tomorrow. And then he gave me Mali, and then I went home. Right, that was the first time I was scammed, proper, and dude. Now, since then, so this is an educational segment in this episode. Since then, I've been exposed to a lot of scams. I've come to know what scams look like. Also, just become interacting with people. So, a few months ago, I was trying to sell my car. I was trying to sell the Polo. Dude, I put an ad up, and some guy called me within 3 minutes of the ad going up. He's like, I'm interested in the car. I want it now. Can I come to your house? And then if I like it, I'm collecting.
I'll take
Dude,
it.
this is 3 minutes after the ad has gone up. Like, I've just posted pictures of this car. Okay, when you haven't test driven it, it's 8 p.m. on a Sunday. What are you coming to do? Like, managangane, like, relax. Chill. But anyways, he says to me, I know, I'm really interested. It's just that it's very competitive right now. Cars are hard to find. Can I come? I'm like, red flag. That's a scam there.
Yeah.
So eventually ended up, I think the sister then got in touch with someone that she trusts and then did it that way. But when you post on Gumtree, just know Uguti.
Was he legit or not?
I didn't even let it get there. Because I got the moment I posted it, right? I think I had over 50 inquiries within the first 24 hours of all the same generic message. Uguti.
50.
About 50 in the same day. In 24 hours, people saying, and it's the same generic message, I'm interested, can I come view and take it same day? Now, what these people do is they come, they get your car, and then they'll say, I've sent you the money. The money might reflect or it might bounce, right? So as long as it's not a cash transaction and it's someone you don't trust, just know good trick. That time they've gone with your car when all mali, right? Or sometimes they'll send you a proof of payment which looks legit, turns out it's actually not.
Yeah.
And then that's how you lose your car. So watch out for things like that. Round about the same time, I also started looking for a new place to stay, right? So you start going. And then I find this place in, Century City, where Canal Walk is, right? Now, if you're familiar with Cape Town rentals, you know how insane this sounds, but it's not too insane. So I saw an ad, it says 8,500 for a 2-bedroom place with 2 bathrooms in Century City. 8,500 rands, right?
Mm.
So I send an inquiry. I'm like, yo, my guy, I'm interested. So it's from one of the advertising sites, right? So Gumtree. I'm like, yo, my guy, I'm interested. Please can get in touch with me. So this Mr. Robinson, whatever, using some generic English name, is like, nope. Thank you for showing interest. Here are the application forms, and it's a legit application form, dude. Like with the details of the apartment, the complex rules, everything, letterhead, yonkinto. You would totally believe Uguti this is proper.
Legit.
Yeah, legit. So as I'm filling it in, then I'm like, let me just call this person, because what if it's like a good deal? I don't want to lose out on a good gig. This is not to be stereotypical, right? I love my African brothers from the West. The moment that man's picked up and I heard the Nigerian accent, I was like, okay.
How fun now?
Okay. I'm like, sorry, this is Mr. Robinson. Yes, this is Mr. Robinson. I'm like, okay. And then I keep calm just to hear what he has to say. I'm like, okay, no, I'm interested in that apartment that you posted on Gumtree. I would like to come view. I was like, no problem, my brother. And he's like, before you come and view, please fill in the form and then pay the 1,000 rand application fee. I'm like, Chief, there is no way. It's actually illegal to do that. You can't make people pay to view a place, right? The Rental Housing Act.
Pay the fee now.
The Rental Housing Act does not allow that. So first things first, get that in within, guys. So that's not a thing. And then
you wanted what, a K?
Yeah, 1,000 to process the application. And then after that, he says, then you have to pay the deposit for the place. No, I'm like, then if you get approved, right? So he says, if you apply, you send all your documents, and then you get approved, then what happens is they will ask you to pay the deposit.
I like
right?
it.
So immediately I'm talking to him, and then he's telling me, Uguti, all these monies I need to pay before I even see the place. And he's like, the key handover will happen when you come do the viewing on that particular day. I'm like, my G, this is a scam. Then he hangs up. Right? Hangs up, blocks my number, everything, right? Typical scam. So what happens is, and I read this in the news, Mr. Maps, you get there to the viewing, you've paid all this money, they give you a key to the place, you show up at the residence, and you'll find an old white man chilling there saying, what the fuck are you doing in my house? Mali yako gone, subhadala 20,000 or whatever it is in deposits and holdings and
vela isebenzi lekiya yakho.
I know you're seventh, and you have now shown up at the door. You are now knocking, saying, "Oh, hi, sorry, I just signed a lease to move in here." Lease. It is.
No, but that's the thing. Scamming velu tatambicha and ambicha, because no one would ever pay like a year's rent or even a month's rent straight up, right?
Sure.
But if you say this is a housing deposit, someone you definitely get a lot of money.
100%.
There's a lot of gullible people out here.
100%.
A lot of
and look,
people out here.
there's people more gullible than me. Like, I'm not saying Guti, I am the all aware. I was just super conscious after, like, literally trying to sell my car.
After they
took my 5 Dombi Gudana. But also, the stress of trying to sell my car and encountering scammers at every single turn, that freaked me out. So when I was now apartment hunting, I was more aware. Okay, this is what I must look out for. If it looks too good to be true, it probably isn't. Like, if you know that apartments in Century City go for 10,000 rand minimum for a 2-bedroom, then you know, okay, what I need to do here is just be a bit more prudent, because this is not. And a lot of our people, Zimbabweans, I think, get scammed when we move to these foreign countries, because we don't know the way of the land. Like, we don't know everything that's happening. And then Tologuti, there's people who scam you for visas. Yeah, give me this much money, I'll get you a visa. There's all these scholarship opportunities, which a lot of them aren't even legit. We'll pay for your accommodation to come to America, send money to this account, you get a scholarship. And then when you book all your flights, you get to America, no one hlangabezes you at the airport. So this was just a lesson in scamming, guys, just to be aware.
Nah, I mean, in Dubai, it's a very very safe country, right? In terms of your stereotypical crime, right? Hijacking, stealing, and stuff like that. But scams are
really,
here, bro. It's even the banks. Like, so my bank will send me at least once a month any emails about, hey, be alert, phishing scams, this and that. So it's scamming is a big problem that they're trying to get rid of in Dubai, because they will, there's so many different types of scams. So like this random guy called me and he says, hey, so they'll know your bank names, because like they'll pick up a receipt. It's good to rip up receipts and all this random stuff that has your name and stuff like that on it. So somehow, some way, the guy finds out, I've got a bank with, ABSA, for example, right? So he'll call and be like, hey, I'm calling from ABSA. Your name is Tawo Maposa, right? Yes, this is Tawo Maposa speaking. Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to let you know that someone wanted to, we just blocked a phishing scam on your account. Yeah. And we've temporarily going to close your account. I just need to give you, or rather, I'm going to send you an OTP. Can you read that OTP to me? Something like that. Then you'll get the message. Someone's requesting an OTP. And then if you read them the item, then you've just given them access into your account to pull out the funds. Right? Or they'll tell you, I need your, to make sure that this is the right card that we're blocking, I need your card details. So I'll need the 16 digits, the expiry, and the CVV. And you give them, and, money gone. Like, so many different types of, like, some of them are really bad. So this one Indian guy called me, and then he was like, in an Indian accent, like, Habibi, I'm calling from Dubai police. And I'm just like, what? It's like, yeah, Habibi, you have a ticket, pay now. And I'm like,
what the hell is this?
It's like, no, I'm not. Yeah, like, I'm like, who falls for this shit? So, and then, and what was funny is, like, again, so there's the Dubai police, right? And then there's the Abu Dhabi police.
Okay.
So these guys send me a message saying, Kuti, hey, you have a ticket, you need to pay right now. Because I'm the Dubai police. I'm like, okay, cool. And then it's like, I just sent you a message now. Pay to that, click on that link and pay. And then the message comes from Abu Dhabi police. So I'm like, bro, but didn't you just say you're Dubai police? And then he hung up.
And it's funny how they all hang up when they caught.
Make you do something quickly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So they literally try to, as soon as possible, block you, whatever, and stuff. Because again, normally if someone tries that, then there's actually a place on the police website here where you can report people's numbers. Like, this number called me, they pretended they were this, and then those guys will trace it and figure out how to catch those guys. But the scamming here
next level
is long, bro. Like, one of my friends had a British girl call him pretending to be from his bank, and she was proper. Like, he was like, bruh, if you're not switched on, she was gonna take all your money. Some scams are elaborate, where it's like it doesn't feel like it feels legit. Like, there's so many things. Like, for it was once because I wanted to apply for a credit card, and I think I made the inquiry to my bank online or something like that. But then this random guy, and unfortunately, it just happened to be a Nigerian guy. He called me, and he says he gets all my information correct. But like, again, at this point, I'm very, very like sensitive to these things. I'm like, I'm like, what information I give, I'm careful. I'll give you my name, but I won't give you anything else. If it doesn't seem like it was good, but he had enough information where I felt like, okay, enough about my financial profile that this is legit. Like, he was quoting certain things where like, there's no way this information is randomly on someone's desk. you have to have access to a system, right? So yeah, he's like, yeah, no, it's fine. We'll get you the credit card in the next 5 days. Blah 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 blah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna send you an email, and then the email is it's gonna ask you for a few things. Send me the copy of your residence visa and your passport page. And I was like, okay, sharp. And then I see the email, and like it's not, when you get an email from a bank, it looks very banky, right? You can tell the bank logo. His email was, I kid you not, those the bullet points on PowerPoint, which was kind of like blue and like yellow. That's what it was. So like he was listing the documents required. I was like, like, first of all, this is a terrible format. Secondly, this was very unprofessional, because if it's a bank, I'm assuming everything is uniform, because all of my other emails from the bank look very simple, very straightforward. So to this day, I don't know if he was legit or not, but I pulled out. At that point, I didn't send him any information. I was kind of like, I just said, so he called me again, because again, it's Dubai, the UAE is very, very big in terms of sales. The sales industry is huge, right? So telesales, people trying to sell you a credit card, sell you a loan, sell you anything, property, all that. It's big in this country. So for him, he had obviously targets to hit. He's spoken to a guy who, yes, he wants a credit card and blah, 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 and is interested. So he called me and he was like, no, listen, dog, I'm being so real with you right now. This is legit. I can give you my bank identity number. And I was like, okay, I get it. The man has targets and I want to give you business. I even went to the extent of, I went to the branch. There's a branch that's like 6 minutes from my office, right? So on my way home, I went to the branch and I said, hey, are you able to verify an employee number? If I give you this employee number, can you verify this is someone that actually works in this bank, right? And she nope, we can't do
private
that.
information.
So like also so it was kind of like it was long. So she wasn't really encouraging to say, yeah, this is legit. I was like, can I show you the number that's calling me? Is that legit? She's like, bro, I can't tell. I don't know. So it was just one of those things where I didn't get any answers from the branch. And I was like, if that's the case, the guy called again and like, chief, I'm sorry. I just, in terms of, being Lamy responsible and stuff, I really can't do this deal. So and maybe he might have been legit. I'd like to believe that he was being legit, but he died for the fact that one.
He died for that fact.
Too many scams in Dubai. No, he died for that. I won't even lie to you, bro. Like I feel like had it been a different type of individual, I might have caved. Because again, everything else was not too,
Yeah, you would have believed.
But I was just kind of like, and again. Yeah, and here the thing that they always tell people: never send someone your visa page, never send someone your passport, like because they're trying to do some shady shit. Next thing, Dubai police is at your door talking about saying you stole 500,000 dirhams and you're our guy, and you're like, whoa, I didn't do that, and it just creates problems. So unfortunately, scams are a big thing, but people have to be aware. This one friend of mine on Instagram, haven't spoken to her in years and years. I randomly get a message saying, hey, I'm trying to open this thing, but it's asking me to register. I need to register 2 people. Lawe, can you forward it to someone else? I really hate doing this. And then like, again, it might have been a legit message because it didn't seem, like it was out of the blue because I'm like, why are you? But like also, I just deleted the DM. Yeah, I just deleted the DM. I was like, check. Like, even if it's legit, nah, fam. It's long. So stuff like that. I've had people DM me, like, one of my other friends got hacked. And then the guy was DMing all the homies in her DMs, talking about, hey, you want to win R1 million? So I literally had to text them, like, what's this about? So investor. Wait, so investor, wait. She's like, no, sorry, I got my account blocked. And I was like, okay. I was like, so I said to send a screenshot of that, chief, when you're visiting the on Instagram. Literally, the account was hacked for almost a week.
Whoa.
So like her stories would pop up and the guy would be posting proper
That's
inboxing
long.
friends and all this other shit. Me, my biggest fear is having my on any of my social media hacked. That's my biggest fear. Because at that point, if I was a hacker, I wouldn't even be looking to try to make some money, bro. I'd be jumping into people's DMs, posting DMs on stories. That's really because me, my mind, I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up. So that's literally what I would.
Is that the first thing you do?
Big doors and having your account hacked. Oh yeah, no, I'm going to people's DMs, bro. Like what? Nah, you gotta post. Now imagine you're talking hella shit about some person to another person, then screenshot, post on your story. Who's going to stop them, bruh? Like that's my biggest fear in the world. Like imagine, said you've got personal DMs, dog. You've been laying game on this item. This is someone else's hand, dog. Someone else's hand. And you guys are busy telling each other, yo, I miss you.
Next thing posted on your story.
Shit. Bruh, for 24 whole hours. Oh.
Yeah, no. Hey? I guess that's a point.
Yeah, no, I'd sooner be like, nah, bro, trying to scam people for their money, bro, because I would just be an agent of chaos. That's honestly, if I was a hacker,
you'd just be doing it for
I would
to be satanic.
Agent of chaos, and honestly, I wouldn't even do it for the money. Agent of chaos is all I'd want. Justin J pop DMs, baba. I was just like, what the fuck? Because then at that point, you would literally ruin that individual.
Yeah, you
literally ruin that.
I wonder how many people are comfortable with their DMs being exposed. I mean, I know, man, it's okay. Sahara Desert in there.
Manga. Certain contexts, I just know I just need to scroll far enough for you. It's just certain contexts.
I mean, shem, as long as scroll until Jesus comes.
Really? Senna, is this true? Because next time I see you, I'll scroll. Be like, give me your phone for 10 minutes. Yeah,
I'm being for real, dog.
Ain't no way, dog. It's okay.
As you must hear me when I say this. I mean, I am check it. But anyways,
it's in November, you know.
Anyways, if you're working in Bulawa and then someone stops you and says they need help with something, please respectfully.
No, I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that one.
And I'm sure I can't be the only one.
No, they almost got me, bro. I was saved because where they bumped into me, I was by opposite BC, where Old Mutual is, because my mom used to work in the Old Mutual building. Their offices were there. So I was literally about to go to my mom's office. These don't stop me. Like I'm about to turn into Old Mutual. And they stopped me. Same exact speech that they gave you. And I'd vomit. I was yeah, okay, sharp. Yeah, that's cool. You know, really, I was none the wiser. And then one of my mom's colleagues saw this guy talking to me, like just before deals were struck, like literally 1 minute before things went down. And I think they were even telling me, they would give me, instead of money, I don't know, it's something along the lines of I was going to get a free t-shirt as well. So that was a child, bro. It's like, what the fuck? So one of my mom's colleagues sees me. He goes, Tabo, Hadi, what's up? What's going on? I'm like, oh, nah. Then I explained. As soon as I started explaining, she was like, bruh, they're trying to scam you, bro. Let's go upstairs. So obviously, it wasn't a she, it was a he. Go upstairs with the guy, and next door then goes to my mom, you know, because now I can tell the bosses, put your kid downstairs when they were about to have it. Now, like for him, obviously,
brownie points,
bands, right? It's chill. Yeah, bands, brownie points, all this, and then my mom's, oh yeah, honey, they're going to see really thanks. Yeah. As soon as he left my mom's office,
I know what happened next.
The lecture started. Yeah, why is Twitter so?
Side note.
It's like the guy is sitting there where
how would you know?
The plan was to come and play games on a computer, and now I'm being lectured for 2 hours. Like, what a depressing rest of my afternoon until I go home with my mom. You know, yeah, he going off from Uhambe town.
Yo, Tifana Fefe.
You think me and my queen, once she's on a roll, my mom is like a snowball.
And bigger and bigger.
And bigger. And then somehow, some way, it got connected to home. and then this, I'm like, guys, like it literally. So for me, what I was just like, you know what, whatever. So it was long, bro. That I remember that being so annoying.
Yeah, I didn't tell my parents.
Oh, man, this is just so unnecessary. Yeah, no, parents. The problem is like I get it in terms of the good thing is that you're trying to impart knowledge on your child. The how, that's where this guy's parents lose me. That's the how of it. That's the. I'm like, mm-mm. And again, I think it's like black parents globally. I don't know what happened to black people globally, where it's just, you know, you speak to Caribbean friends, you speak to West African friends. That's our parents are all wired the same way. You know, is it because these are all countries that have been colonized by white? Is it the white people that did this to us? Like, I don't know, fam. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Why globally
we are
black
the way
parents are just the same?
Yeah, I guess
way.
it's
wild.
just our culture as black people. We tend to think we differ from one ethnicity to another, one tribe to another. But totally, at the end of the day, we probably share very, very
It's all the
similar
same.
behaviors and practices.
Dude, you watch TikTok, you watch all these, you know, funny guys make fun of their parents from all over the place, right? As long as you're black, it's like all these experiences are shared. And like, what kills me is that how are these experiences shared when my dad has never been to America until you know the 2010s or something? So how is he having relatable shit? How is someone getting his ass whipped in America, in Jamaica, in England, in Togo and wherever? All same lectures and all this other stuff. But it's like,
and
that to me,
it'll be the
really
same,
does
right?
blow my mind.
When white kids be wilding in America and then they don't like they just wilding, a black parent in the states will be like, I don't know why it's not hitting me. My kids would never talk to me like that, right? In Zim, in Bulawayo, thousands of miles away, it's the exact same reaction my mother would have.
Same thing. Yeah, go bahambe. Sambona namhle. Bro, like, whoa. Like, I feel like if your mom, again, like I dropped a gem 2 episodes ago, 3 episodes ago, where I was like, you need a bit of childhood trauma to be
Yes.
I feel like you definitely, like, I think you lived life. If you had a mom that loved to complain, to lecture and to beat, if you had any combination of that or all of it, your childhood was lit. Because
I don't know about lit.
I don't know. It's definitely an experience. All I can tell you is that like a lot of people have some when you know certain cousins and they imitate, like, so my mom's sister, mom, like, love her to death. She's great. Her kids is a different story. They're like, chief. Like my Zakis are like, bruh, your mom, bruh, she's wild. And I know, like, it's the way that she parented. She was very like she was my mom, except like
next level.
I know I complain about mine, but I'm like, yo, me and my mom don't see eye to eye on a lot of shit, but she's also next level, where it was just her shit. And like the way she would dress her, like even I'd be back. I'm not in her crosshairs. Even
you also be like, yay.
You know what? Because there's this drawer that I don't know why. Like one of my cousins just like climbing into that drawer. He's like, yeah, go on. Ungena pake wo. Zawushaya ngempama mangal. And I was like, to and again, if you break down that statement, smack someone.
Leave you in shock. That's I'm gonna leave you in shock.
Again, you know how hard someone has to hit you that you sit down. And you say, like that's a powerful item, bruh. Like so when she would drop bars like that. It's like, and even my mom would just go, yeah, you go, boy.
She said
And I'm
enough.
like, okay.
That's fine.
Alright, cool. She said enough. Said enough. I'm good. Like, it's just, parents who kept you on your toes.
No, Shem, and to be honest, I get what
actually-
you mean about you need a bit of childhood trauma to be very successful. Because I think a large part of why and this is the first time I'm ever saying this, I love my parents, Shem, they know this. A large part of why I fight so hard to get a job and stay working and stay away from home is because I don't think I could function in that environment ever again in my life. That's why I work so hard. That's why I work so hard.
Like, there's no way.
bro. No way.
I get you.
I'm like,
I
I
can't go
can't.
back into that. Like, I'm the same way with the check. Like, I'm with my parents for like 5 days, 10 days, and it's like, we're pushing 10, we're pushing.
Yeah.
Like, it's like,
How did you get a job? Like, how
it's
did you stay
just-
motivated? I'm like, yay, I know. Just I worked.
I feel sorry for some of our peers. For whatever reason, they have to go back home and live with the rents and stuff.
Yeah,
like
or maybe there's
I
no
feel sorry for
maybe there's
them,
no
because I
trauma
know
there.
You're fighting.
Maybe they're not fighting.
You're fighting. Now I know there's trauma. I have a friend. She's 29, maybe even 30 this year. Still has to negotiate curfew with
Yeah, you kind of have to though when you're at
Still.
home.
like, nah, no, me I can't. Like I said, Dobby is now a free elf. Cannot do this.
So
so it's just
I've adopted a different approach to when I'm home, where because I still feel like they want that kind of explanation of what you are happy and all these things. So just say, no, look, I'm gonna link up with Tabo. We're gonna be here, here, whatever till whatever time, right? What I don't think I can do is leave one and then go midnight happy or wherever. I don't think I can do that at home.
no. Yeah, there's certain boundaries. So like, I'd never leave the house after 11. Like, if I'm in the house and it's 11, and like I know for myself, like it's done. I can come back late, but even the late of it is like midnight.
Yeah.
That's because again, my dad stays up. He still to this day, it's just he just wants to make sure the car and his child
In the
are
house.
in the house, and now he can set his alarm in peace. So it's still, I can't, bro. Like, it's very, very, I have to see them in bits and pieces because more like it's
I actually like to encourage parents of teenagers and older children, maybe kids who've left home now. Just ukuthi when we go out, kule anxiety
Probably.
is it just because I
No,
can
'cause your
I can
kid is
imagine
doing
that
some dumb shit. It's just the fact. Your kid's doing some dumb shit. Like, it's an absolute fact at the end of the day. And parents are right to worry. I won't even lie. I know we have parents listening to this podcast. I'm not here to lie to you guys. Your child is doing some dumb shit, sucking the wrong dick, doing something. Like, it's just driving drunk. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just let's be honest. Let's be honest.
wow.
Have you seen the clip of that white South African guy who goes, bro, let's be honest.
Black people
are a problem, bro. Let's be frank, guys. We're not out here trying to be like, hey, no, parents shouldn't sit back and worry. I mean, when my time comes as a parent, I'll be exactly the same way because I know I put myself in the situation. And if it's me and my peers and there were no parents and we have a little bit of money, nah, it's dumb shit. Rather have, and again, I think the tact that our parents used was an incorrect tactic, right? But they were right. What they were trying to avoid was very, very real, very, very correct. It's just the tactic didn't. It was just, once if you come off as too authoritative, it's with kids. The switch just
won't
says
be
challenge
received.
accepted. It's challenge accepted. Like, right, all right, sharp. Let's go. Blow the whistle.
That's
Let's play the game. And then now we're seeing Zbaniwani's daughter, Edma Bugweni, and she's just being touched inappropriately. This Dawa who doesn't have O levels. And it's just like, dog. You know what I mean? Like, in Konapa, she's top of her class. And GC or convent. Like, it's again, if we start talking about the things that we've seen, the parents listening to the podcast might have conversations with their kids. So, guys, I won't expose you too much, but let's be real. We were playing games, when we were younger.
I love someone quotes you. Tabo from 6 foot weight said.
No, it's a fact. No. If your kid is just eating at the idea of being alone with his or her homies, trust me, they're up to no good. Agulaza. Yes, there'll be the odd. It's gonna be mixed in with 2K and FIFA and just chilling with the boys. But then there's just certain ones. Because my parents would always hit me with this. Why can't your friends come to the house? They'd always hit me with that one. Like, oh, no, you want to hang out with your friends. That's what my parents would always say. And it's like, nah, bro, I can't tell the hoes to pull up. You're missing the point. This is not what we finna do.
There's rules here.
My dad literally, every single time. I'm like, Dad, I'm going out to a braai this weekend, da-da-da-da. And he'd be like, dude, we have all this space at home. Call your friends. I'll buy meat for you. And I'm like, no, chief.
You don't get it. You don't get it.
Russian pay. How are we going to get it into the house? You know what I mean? It's like, so. It's these things where like, there's no way I would ever tell my friends, pull up with booze to my parents' yard. No. Like, that's never going to happen. But then also, no way I'm going to miss out on the braai. So it's like, okay, what's the least worst thing to do? Okay, let me attend there, then try to bring the wahala here. That's kind of what goes into your kid's mind. Which no. I respect my parents too much to drink in their presence.
Do that.
But I'm going to lie to them and tell them where my whereabouts. Like how many SDA kids lied to their parents about a sleepover? Hey, Nyago Sen, we're going to. It's a sleepover. It's just guys. And I remember the first time I got away from the crib. Wow, we're never going to get to see siyazama. But first time I got to a party. It was the house party.
Yeah.
And the rents let me go because I covered with the church friend, right? So he was hosting the party and it was lit and there was girls. And I was like, oh shit. And I mean, technically, his mom and dad were there in the house as well. Like, so it wasn't an all out like we made this shit up, right? So his parents were there. So that was legit, right? But what I didn't say is there's going to be girls. Then my dad drops me off because this was like it was like Saturday 8 type of thing. So I'd been home the whole afternoon, and he knows I'm going for this thing later on in Dambam, and I'll be back tomorrow. But he goes right, chi. So I'd already talked to the boys. No, one of you guys pull up to the yard, pick me up, and we go. And then my dad's going, no.
I'll drop you off.
It's close by. It was a 10 minute drive. So but I was more than happy. My dad always, when drop someone off, my dad is more than happy to do it. He never ever complained about dropping someone.
Because he wants to see.
So exactly. He wants to patrol, isn't it? So I'm like, okay, fine. So take my little bag, jump into the car, and we get to my boy's crib. And I'm like, we get to the gate. I'm like, okay, no, it's fine. I'll drive in. I'm like, but what's going on? So then drives into the yard, and then as fate would have it, boom, Dages just come out running, and I'm like, and my dad just looks at me, and I'm like, So I'm thinking this guy's gonna put this car in reverse and be like, nah, there's girls here, whatever. And then he goes, so he looks at me, right? He's looking at me. And in the coolest accent, chilled Ndebele accent. So, kula mankazana la? Yeah. They're part.
And then after you told them yes,
the guys are there. Yeah. So after I told him yes, I said yeah, they're there. And then he goes, all right. Then, and so to have access. And I'm access. Okay. All right.
He said all he needs to say.
Yeah, that was
no,
it.
you're the one.
I opened the door and I left. Then he backed out. Didn't even say hi to the Reds. He just wanted to see. But then he goes home. Never even told the queen. I don't think my mom knew that there were girls at the party. I know my mom would have definitely wanted to have a longer conversation. But yeah, pulled up. The party was lit. You know, it was a good time. It was a good time. And
It was fun times.
yeah, but like no. Like I think definitely don't. I don't want a situation where my kid feels like they need to lie to me about everything. You know, it's like, bruh. You know, I think we need to find a happy medium where, yeah, the kid feels safe to do whatever they need to do. Not.
But then just tell you and talk to you.
Some of our peers, Moyo, are experts in lies. Like when it comes to idea generation,
Yay.
bruh.
And I was never brave. Like shout out to all the to all the people who used to host parties and brides with their friends when parents were out of town. I never had the swindy to do that thing. Like
No, absolutely not.
Even when they were away, there's a part of me that's like, as they could just find something or they could just show up. So right. Good. It's good. It's nice.
The first party I ever threw with my rents not pan. I was 24. Like 24, 25, bruh. I was in Chovile, bruh. So it was one of those things where it's like, as a kid, never, ever. The most I'd ever do is call one of the homies over, let's play FIFA.
That's it.
That's literally, my house was that FIFA, or we have a braai with the boys. That was literally it. And we call it a day. Logo when I was shit scared of my parents. Probably still am. Like it's just like there's times when my mom would hit certain vocals and I was like, whoa, trauma.
Hey,
PTSD,
what's happening
please,
here?
Adjust the tone. The child would be
Revise.
like it was going crazy.
Please revise.
But anyway, Mr. Moy, let's move into siyazama. This is how did we? I know. Wow, 2 hours. So relieved. We need to get into siyazama. There is. Oh yeah. So one of my boys is currently in an intimate relationship with an older woman.
Oh,
And
okay.
he sent
Halala.
a siyazama. She's about, what did he say, 4 or 5 years older than him. 6 7 years older than him, something like that. It was like a span. I remember when he told me, I was like, whoa, that's okay, dope. So he says, essentially his question was, why are older women so aggressive? Like they tell you exactly what they want, how they want it, and you don't really have a choice. And I was just like, interesting. Then it reminded me of a time where I almost got taken away by a MILF, bro. Literally almost got taken. And I was fighting for my life. Literally fighting for. Again, I have to. You see, the problem with these things, you can't expose these files too much. So I'll have to keep the setting.
You have to.
Shit vague.
Okay, fair enough.
We were at a gathering. We were at a gathering in a certain country, and you know, I'd never met this person before. They came to the party, and me, I'm just minding my own business. I'm doing me. You know, people are having drinks, having a good time. We're braaiing. You know, it's chilled. And towards the end, so like she'd been eyeing me for time, and then we had conversations here and there throughout the day, right? It was one of those brides that started at mini, and now we're getting to like 10 p.m., right? 9, 10, those type of hours. So we're talking here and there, chill, haha, here, you know, just whatever. And me, again, I'm in my own world. And next thing towards the end, and I say hump. So it's time for her to she was with a friend, she's about to dip. And she comes to me, she's like, yo, chief, come with me. And I'm like, what's up? She's like, no, I just need your help, you know, taking some stuff to the car. Oh, okay, sharp. Help her out, carry the stuff. We go out of the crib, go into the parking lot. And then she's like, so what are you saying? Like, I'm about to go to the club with my girl and I'm feeling you. Let's go, you know, I'll take care of you. And I'm like, what? Literally, she's like, no, I'll take care of you. Like, anything that you want. You know, me, I'm just trying to smash.
Oh, okay.
And I'm literally there, like,
halala.
And the friend is chilling in the passenger seat, bro. Passenger seat. So she's listening to all of this.
Yeah.
Me, now, I'm like, bruh, being conjuso. I'm standing outside the car. She's sitting in the driver's seat. Obviously I'm tall, right? So now I have to lean over into the window to have this conversation. And I'm literally there, like, I'm in my mind, I'm like, bro, I'm like I'm like a working woman, bro. I'm working the streets. That's what it someone just pulled up the road and the lights beam. That's what it would look like, right? So man, I'm confused. So this whole time, because I was so unaware of what she was plotting this whole time, right? The whole thing. My mind is still playing catch up to be like, wait, when did you get to this point?
When did I give you this vibe?
Yeah. So the whole time, like, I'm listening, I'm nodding, yeah, but in my mind, I'm not listening because I'm doing all this other analysis. So literally, she was and the way that she was so, what can I say, authoritative and sure about it. Like out of respect. Not even out of want. Out of respect.
Yeah, no.
Out of intro, like a good. Yeah. No, she literally had like a good 10, maybe even 15 years on me, bro. Like, it was wild. It was wild, bro. And I was just like, it was the craziest experience. And then, obviously, so I say I know, like, I'm good. So she's like, no, go to the club. After the club, I'll get you lit, and then I will literally show you the time of your life.
Hey.
And I'm just there. And again, Senna, the friend is sitting right there, dog. Just watching.
Yeah, but I presume when you get to a certain age, ezinye izinto akuselanda.
Bruh, like, it was so for me, this is all because it's first time I'm being told this in my life by a person at this, type of age difference or whatever. Like, it was all like, wow, what the fuck is going on right now? So I'm just like, at the end, I'm like, no, Jack, like, listen, I'm good. Like,
I'm good.
No one in the house knows where I'm going. Yeah, Jack, like, it's, yeah, cool. I'll
Excuse.
give me a number.
Sorry.
I will call you, yeah. She gives me the number, and then, yeah, that was it. Go back to the crib. And then I tell the guys in the crib, like, bruh, this is what just happened. And she was like, yeah, it's good you didn't go because, bruh, she's for the streets. I was like, what?
Whoa.
I was like, bro, you almost got had. She's proper for the streets. And I was like, oh, shit. Like, it was what? So I completely, related to what this guy was saying. But, Mr. Moy, do you have an experience? Do you have anything to say to the siyazama? Why all the women are so sure and so like, yeah, give me that?
Because no one's got time to waste anymore, right? And no time for games. No time for games. No time for this. Okay, chit chat. Because I think even if you look at the older you get, from when you're a teenager to now, I do feel like it's become better to sort of speak your mind the older you get. Like, probably 16-year-old me wouldn't have the same confidence to say something that 28-year-old me can say, right? Especially to a girl. And I think with Look North policies, that's the, I say Look North, with all the peeps, it's there's no need to beat around the bush. Let's just say things as they are. Slandeni lapa, get what I want. Let's not waste each other's time. And also, you realize, Uti, what someone might think about what you're saying isn't as bad as you might actually think yourself, right? Like, you didn't walk away from that experience thinking negatively of the person. I'm sure at some point you're like, oh, that was actually commendable, right?
Yeah.
Because I think when you're younger, you're worried about, what was Otini? No.
Yeah. How's this going to come
I shouldn't say it. Yeah, maybe rejection, whatever. I think you get to a certain age where all that stuff stops mattering.
Yeah, I know. What is it? Guababa used to have us by the
Guababa will follow
growing up, and then
dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no, growing up it was a lot, but now you pull up.
Send a message.
But now these days we pull up with confidence. Like, nah, don't worry.
Man,
good, bro. Well, you used to pull up with confidence. Like, people will say, yeah, you see your man. So disclaimer. No. Confidence is there, but it's retired.
Okay.
Soldier. So the other siyazama that we have a couple. We also got a new listener. So again, I even forgot. But yeah, guys, for anyone new to the podcast, Siyazama is a part of the podcast where you can send us any questions, comments, points of order. You can, if you want to share something with the 6 Foot Weights community, hit us up in the DMs at 6 Foot Weights, or you can send us an email at 6 Foot Weights as well, 6footweights@gmail.com. The number 6FTWeights at gmail.com, and it's the same handle on Twitter. And let me take a look here. So this is an individual who just gave us a shout out, said she just discovered the podcast and she actually has her own podcast. I'm trying to see what the name of the podcast is. Let's talk about it with Rue podcast. So again, what she says is her podcast is about conversations around mental health, sex, relationships, consent, amongst other things. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that podcast out. But yeah, she says she's a new fan of the podcast, and shout out to you. Thank you for listening, thank you for coming on board. And then let me see, we also got feedback from one of our episodes. I think it was 2 episodes ago. Was it last one or the episode before that, where we talked about Father's Day and the importance of that. So she wanted to give us her take on that discussion. She said, just listen to the episode. I remember in grade 3, a pair of twins that were crying because they were orphans. Long story short, they got sweets from the teacher and then they were happy. I don't think Father's Day and Mother's Day should be banned. If one has lost their parents, I think it's also a time to learn and to grieve. As someone who has lost a father, Father's Day makes you feel some type of way, but you can't make everyone else cry as the years will pass by. I have learned to dwell on the good memories because he was alive and he was the best dad. He died my hero, and I choose to celebrate that. We need to learn how to celebrate people we have lost. It helps in the healing process. So I think that is very, very thoughtful and profound.
Yeah, it's quite profound.
Thank you for opening up and sharing that with us and everybody else. And I completely agree. It means, those days mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people. And I think we should be looking at, it's a day to celebrate fathers who are there, a day to celebrate mothers who are there. And I don't think this should be a day to kind of look at the negative about what is the father or the mother not doing, right? Celebrate what they are doing. And again, it's a day. It's a day, guys.
It's just a day.
It's it's not forced made. No one. It's not like everyone is forced to come out of their house and clap and like everybody chooses on whether or not they're gonna
I like what she said. I like what she said about it teaches you about dealing with grief and more like getting over things. Obviously, like we're not all going to experience life the same way, and I guess it teaches you at an early age to deal with those kind of emotions. So yeah, that was profound.
So this next siyazama that we have, second last one I think, is very funny. I read this and I was like laughing, tears. So this listener says, "Hey guys, I hope you're well. Listen to the lacking cheese episode, and as much as I laughed at Tawo's pain for running out of mazoe and waiting 2 weeks for the next restock, which is justified." No, it's not. However, I would be happy to be drinking water compared to the alternative that my aunt created. To keep the story short, my siblings had to live with my dad's sister for a short period when she noticed the mazoe raspberry was not lasting as long as she had hoped for.
Okay.
First of all, raspberry is a trash flavor. But anyway, that's besides the point. She showed actually cream soda is the worst, and I'd say
no. Anyway. Cream soda is right up there.
Cream soda.
We don't tolerate cream soda here. Aye.
Cream soda is trash.
It's orange, then cream soda, then maybe blackberry, anachi. After that, yeah,
Nah. First of all, the goat is blackcurrant. Number 2 is peach. Number 3 is orange. And then you can put raspberry and last cream soda. That's the order. That's
Orange is the goat.
I wouldn't be mad at anyone who has. I'm not mad at anyone who says orange is the goat. Fair enough. But for me, flavor in terms of again, the one in our house that would finish in 3 days was either peach or blackcurrant. Those are the only two. If I get cream soda, it would really last 2 weeks.
Nah, bro, cream soda is powerful. Raspberry is trash, but cream soda was really lit. Like, that was the next level.
I disagree. But anyway, Mr. Moon, we move. So she noticed Uti the Mazoe raspberry was not wasn't lasting as long as she wanted. So she showed the maid the most vile concoction just to save the nonsense juice, and she rolls her eyes. It was basically sugar, water, and a bit of juice for smell.
What do you mean by a bit of juice?
And coloring.
Well, she made her own juice.
Like literally as if, bruh, like it's, this is how I'm interpreting it. She would take the mazoe, probably put like a few spoons into the water, and then put some sugar in the water. But the mazoe is there for the color and a little bit of flavor. That was the concoction. And then for coloring, and then in brackets she puts pretty much coral water, if you have ever heard of that word. I don't know what coral water is. Do you know what that is?
Nope. How do you spell it? Let me Google.
Okay, we'll assume Koro.
Koro water. Let's see what comes up. Well, nothing that I know or I'm familiar with.
So I think we'll need to DM her and be like, yo, what's coral water, my guy? But actually, yeah. Let me even respond now. By the way, they're being responded to live on the pod. By the way, what is coral water? Should I say respond quickly? Because we're waiting.
No, even if they respond later, it's fine.
Like, hey, it's a fast price. But it's fine. Anyway, and she says, all right, so, to go back, everybody up to date. It was sugar, water, and a bit of juice for the smell and coloring, right? And we had to take this to school as part of our lunchbox. And to make it worse, it was way off-brand, as we lived in a really nice, low-density, fancy suburb in Harare. And we used to take this nonsense to school in the name of saving dilute drink. Anyway, shout out to the maid who realized how silly the whole thing was and started sneakily making us the normal juice, which also I had to keep quiet when I discovered the kind gesture. Let's just say when my dad found out, he was not very happy since he was already doing groceries. Keep up the good work. Kings love the podcast.
Oh, wait. The aunt was receiving money for groceries and then giving them that concoction as the juice alternative. Yo.
Bruh. Here's the thing. She's patient. Me,
she was really
I know
for
myself.
profit.
I was snitch. Like, I was so spoiled as a kid. I would call my parents immediately. Like, if my uncle was doing that, immediately, fam. I'd call my parents and cry as if I'm in prison, like I'm in juvie or something. I'm like, nah, check.
You'll be out there, you'll be there with the
that's
drama.
The thing with spoiled kids. Yeah, no, I'd have caused immediate drama. Really,
especially if you know that she's profiting the sheets. Like, she's literally getting money to get all these groceries and then doing some creative accounting.
I mean, personally, if I'm a parent and then he's a child, same as giving my child sugar water solution, nah, fam. Nah. Nah,
you know what?
Catch hands, bruh. Because
my curiosity is, why go through all those lens instead of just, because what makes sense to me is literally buying Ama sachets air jolly juice. Like, that would have been better.
Yeah,
like, at least do that.
At least do jolly juice, bruh. Yeah, at least do jolly juice, bruh. Like, come on, go to Pots, buy a whole like sack of them for like 50 pola. and come back.
Just for 100 years.
It's not that hard. Yeah, bruh, come on. Like, honestly. But anyway, that's a lot, guys. Add us, let us know if you've been made to make certain concoctions in the name of saving it dilute. And then this last siyazama, I have to read it. I was told Senna needs to hear this one. Twakona, this week I want Senamiso to get off his bestie's support horse. I have provided the materials for this. Where was the other one? Okay, yeah, that's the one. So they've provided the material. They tagged us, and they said, "Uti, right, Mr. Moy, you need to come and address this because again, this was some wild shit." I'll read you one, and we can start. We can start from there.
Okay.
So obviously, our fave Oloni called the ladies, and she said, "Well, Sisi, I want you to DM me about the time you had sex with your bestie. Do you deny it to other people? Has your boyfriend ever been suspicious? Was it good or a bad move? Did it complicate the relationship? Were they single? Do you fuck every now and again?" So that was the question. So now, the first one, Mr. Moy, that you're going to defend. Talk on a hail on me. So boom, I met my bestie. I was single. He was in a relationship. Again, red flag number one, in brackets, which I encouraged him to get into, even though I had a massive crush on him.
That's not
Point
a
number
bestie.
one, whatever I always said.
No, that's not a bestie.
Let me. I've always said, in a relationship between a guy and a girl, there's always one who likes the other. It might be both, but there's always, you're guaranteed. Ukono tando mu.
But that's not a
And the
that's
question
not a friendship.
is, does the other person feel the same?
That's not a friendship. That's a crush.
No, it is. Because then you can be attracted, but you can be attracted to people. Like, you can be friends. I'm sure you have friends that you've been attracted to. Are you trying to say that every friend that you have, you're not attracted to?
They're my friends. How? They're my homies. Skin suckers.
No, what? Then what if she's sexy? If she's sexy, she's sexy. Sexy doesn't, like, it has nothing to do with friendship.
Then that is what it is, but I'm phone, right?
Person,
she could be attractive, but I'm phone.
Yes, but you acknowledge Uti, she's fine.
Yeah, I can acknowledge that.
You acknowledge Uti, you'd hit that.
That's, I'm not acknowledging.
You would. No, you would.
No.
At the end of the day, if that person is visually appealing, and it can be even intellectually as well, you might be, oh my God, I'm attracted to you intellectually, right? The person could have the right personality for you and just not be physically attractive to you. But it's like, oh my God, if you were my spec physically,
okay,
I would marry you, right? That's how this whole bestie thing starts.
Right, but here's the thing. You led with this by saying, initially, this woman already said, I had a crush on him.
Okay, fair enough.
That's
you can take it up with her. You can take it up with her, but let's continue. So she said, yes, she admits Uti, she had a massive crush on him for months and nothing happened. So again, maybe not at the period that they ended up smashing. So maybe initially she had a crush and then, things didn't happen and whatever. They've just became friends afterwards, right? So he came into this relationship. So what? He came with me. He came to me with his relationship problems and I tried to stay supportive, but it just got more toxic. Meanwhile, I'm just about to accept that me and him will never happen. Next thing, he makes a move on me, and I swear we fucked like 3 times that day. That line that I've just said, we fucked like 3 times that day. We're gonna come back to it in just a second. Okay. Okay. He even called her. Oh my God, this is terrible. You're a demon if you do this. He even called her while we were still naked, and I felt so bad. He kept coming back. To to like. He was dying for it. Eventually, the guilt was too much, and I gave him the typical "tell her or I will." He twisted the whole narrative, villainized me. Now we don't fuck with each other at all, and I realized the reason why they were so toxic was because he's an asshole. He lasted, and this is the last line, he lasted like 5 minutes, it definitely wasn't worth it. So, and then I guess she added an extra paragraph. She goes, "We were fucking for a while though, sneaking around. I think it was the excitement and the fact that it was wrong that enticed me. Plus, I was definitely infatuated with him." So 2 things. Number 1, obviously the whole bestie situation. She had always had a crush on him. Number 2, because the guy villainized her, she then became vengeful. Because that whole he lasted 5 minutes aspect was unnecessary. It's unnecessary for you to say.
It's really not necessary.
I couldn't need. And then we go back to the middle. What did she say? The first time they teed like 3 times. So that was 15 minutes in total. But I mean, wow.
Oh,
anyway,
what a wow.
That's for me again. Like people know with Timina, I'm a dickhead. Yeah. How can you have a whole like side relationship thing, right? Where you guys are being all fun and whatever for 5-minute rounds? I don't get. Like, I feel like in my mind, it needs to be longer.
Fire
Right?
upon them.
Like if we're talking about, oh yeah, like we were sneaking around and all this other shit, and like yeah, it was lit. Like 5 minutes is not like imagine Senna, jeopardizing your relationship for 5 minutes. 5 minutes, like nah, like that math doesn't make sense in my mind. For 5, dude. Yeah. Yeah. Like nah, dog. Like that dude needs to reassess his life because I don't think 5 minutes of cooch is worth it. Sacrificing your relationship. I don't think so. Guys,
some will say any coach.
I don't think so.
Irrespective of maybe the 5-minute one for him is the one that took him out. You never know.
Guys, but no, she was also vengeful because obviously, and this is another thing that ladies need to know. If a guy has the choice between the side and the main, he will throw away the side in an instant. That's why you're the side. In an instant. What do you mean? Like obviously, and if she put a gun to his head, said, "I will tell her," or you tell her. Obviously, right? Because again, it reminded me of that one story. Remember, I was telling you, what's that hood close to Woodville? Is it Machamklop?
No.
It's Machamklop, right?
It's Mahachula.
Or Mahachula. It's Mahachula, yeah. So some dude who lived in Mahachula apparently had a side and he was married. And the side found out. I think the side was like this a girl who was probably around about our age or some shit, right? Side finds out, she's mad. She tells all her little girlies, "Hey, bro, what the fuck? Hey, this guy's married. Hey, go, let's go confront him at his house," right? Pull up to his yard, and the guy clocks them coming. They get to the yard, and he sees Uti is this girl and her squad of homies, and then the wife is there. Wife is about to come out to also inquire with Kamanja. You know what this one did? He beat them up.
How?
Beat them up. Told his wife, "Uti ngamasela."
How? Focus.
Weave them, child.
That's a focus king.
And again, it's a focus king. Like again, in the same situation, dude. Like obviously the guy had to think on his feet and told us, "Ngamasela." Weaved them. So guys, again, you're the dice for a reason. You're the side for a reason. There's nothing
too excited.
Worse than a side who starts thinking about a promotion. Nothing worse than that, bro. Because at that point, when you're now thinking promotion, then gotta let you go. Gotta let you go, fam. Because now you're going
to be a problem.
Now, Sufun jump on my board.
Hey.
Sufun jump on my board.
What the hell?
I will a promotion no matter what. And again,
Tabo's not a nice person.
Own to be treating you well. I'm telling people like it is, bruh. Some people will be in the situation right now, and I think that's the beauty of the pod. We're gonna be honest. Some people might be in that situation right now. You're somebody's side, and he's promising you a promotion, fam. Do you know how many people I know who are on some? Yeah, he said he was gonna leave his girl. Yeah, he says he loves me. Chief, if his girl comes to him and says, "Yay, the own will jump, fam. He would jump. And then you will be left like, I don't even know this. He would deny you like Peter. Like, I don't know.
3 times.
Who's this? I don't. Bruh. I'm like, yo, you even get pissed at his girl. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? I don't even know her. Personally, I'm not side material because
I'm not side material.
Front and center. Like, I just can't be that guy where I'm just like, nah, fam.
What I
be the one.
What I will say is this woman clearly had a crush on this guy, guised as friendship. She was in a friend zone. It wasn't a bestie. It wasn't a proper friendship. And I think you guys, I am always talking about proper friendship as in singabangani. That's what when we're talking about the bestie whole thing, the best situation, my chat is always true friendship. I think those must be allowed. This was a crush.
This is okay. So we've got about 10 minutes before we officially have the longest podcast ever, but in our history. So this one says, I don't know what ITE boom is. I boom? I don't know. Maybe she's saying I or whatever. So me and my bestie were fucking on and off for 5 years. We were always both single at the time and kept it platonic when we were seeing other people. We slept together for 2 years now. Or we haven't slept together for 2 years now, but we send each other porn, and sometimes I send him voice notes of me fucking other people because he loves hearing that. That's weird.
That is so strange. That is incredibly weird.
Yeah. That's very weird. Like, bruh, and then the thing is, from a guy's perspective, dog, you like hearing her get fucked. Like, nah, let's.
What if other men is also now groaning and shit? And
yeah, what if he's moaning? Again, gents, this is a very key lesson, gents. This is why you should be moaning, dog. Why you really annoy him? Really, I don't be in her ear like, hey,
some Rick Ross tip.
I'm paying meet it. Throw the nigga off, bro. Like, imagine he plans to beat his meat. Like, now you're hearing Tabo saying
Nandi baby.
Immediately. Come Nandi baby. You immediately ruin that shit. Like, that one is weird. Let me see if this one is interesting. Bruh, this is mad. I had sex with my male bestie about 2 weeks before meeting my boyfriend. I told my boyfriend because I wanted to be upfront with him. It was pretty bad. I got bored halfway through and told him to get off me. He's getting married, and I don't know if his wife-to-be knows that there's absolutely no feelings here. My boyfriend and him have met a few times and no issues because he knows I only did it because I wanted to scratch an itch, and that itch didn't get scratched in the end. Sha. So either this Sha is a Nigerian Sha,
so Shana Sha.
You've just caught a Zim girl. Wow. Again.
Oh, what a wow.
First it was Cap City last week. Now we've potentially got whoever this person is. Epis Esyangis. Why did you put the Sha? If it's a Shanahan, why would you put the Sha?
Then we know. Now everyone knows what is our nation.
Just pray most people assume this is a Nigerian Sha, because I guys, let's not expose our L's out in public like this.
What I think is happening here, typical. I think a lot of people aren't honest with themselves about whether or not these are actual friendships, or they're just stringing along people that they genuinely like or have crushes on. I think that's the difference. I think this might be someone whom you like, and then boom, things happen. Then it's like, yeah, no, we're friends first, but then now so chinchile.
Okay, let's see. This last one. Well, we'll see if it's the last one. I had sex with my best friend randomly one night after we went out for dinner on another friend's couch whilst sleeping upstairs. Wow. It was completely unexpected, but we promised beforehand it can't change anything. Oh, it was one of those. He was in a relationship at the time, but wasn't that into her. In brackets, I'm not justifying it.
He was lying.
We've done it. We done it a handful of times after that, and it was great. It didn't change our relationship, and I still told him about other guys that I was seeing, etc. The last time we done it, and then I guess she continued, but she didn't put the rest of the screenshot. But yeah. Oh, she says the full story is on her IG. I'm not going to go to her IG. That's all.
It's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they said it was a one-time thing.
Oh, yeah, this one. Yeah. They said it was, I don't know, it's a few times.
Oh, a few times.
Initially, they said it was a one-time thing. It's not going to change our relationship. What. But okay, so this last one, it looks wild because this person is saying, please keep me anonymous. She says, me and my male bestie have been friends for years. A couple years ago, he was dating one of my close girlfriends. She was cheating on him at the time, but he didn't know. He asked me if she was cheating at her birthday party, and I said yes. And in his... and in his vulnerable state, we ended up fucking at the birthday party. So messy. My God.
Wow.
They eventually broke up.
Wow.
From time to time, we still fuck. I'm still close friends with both of them, and she still doesn't know that this happened. Wow.
I think, like I said, a lot of people are misdiagnosing their friendships.
You messy.
Because
you
that
messy,
is a
messy.
Because if genuinely,
what killed me is that she snitched. She says her girl is cheating. Sin number one, and then number two, in his vulnerable state, we ended up.
This is someone who was very intentional about what they're doing. And she told guy about girl's behavior so that he can be mad and then give her that anger.
No, she wanted. She had seen the chance given, chance taken.
One time.
That's the thing with this bestie ish. It's literally. Oh, and I forgot to add, real quick. Male intuition. Okay, cool. Anyway, we'll go through this thread next week, even if we want to. So our first, or one of the other middle siyazamas responded. She says coral water is Shona slang for water, and it's basically mixed with sugar. And she heard it from her dad when he was annoyed about the concoction. Not sure how it started, but that's literally what it is.
I see.
Yeah.
So
sugar water.
So it's basically sugar water solution. Do we have a word for it in Ndebele? We don't, right?
Essentially, I don't think so. But again, I'm not the authority on Ndebele. But real quick before we close, like someone, so this whole bestie thing has reminded me of another story. I've been just unleashing files lately. When I was in squad, there was I also had a bestie. Right? This is a homie for years, and I'll admit it. Right? I always was attracted to her. She was, in my mind, no, she's cute. She's like my spec, blah blah blah.
Wasn't your homie?
But it just never seemed like she was. She was a homie. She was a homie, but like she friend zoned me essentially.
Okay,
that's what happened.
Okay,
she friend zoned me, and then I was like, okay, cool. If I'm friend zoned, we're just gonna be homies. We move on. So she saw other people, I saw other people, and the relationship went on for 3 years, right? In terms of purely the homies. That's what it was. And then when she was now leaving the country, I then, decided, you know what, let me just tune this stage. I actually used to really, really like her still, right? And then I told her, I'm like, yo, bro, I actually, was really, really into you for the longest time. We were just chilling in you see, this is how these things start. In a hotel room, the two of us. So I'm like, chief, this is what it's been, for him. And she goes, why didn't you tell me? Because I felt the exact same way, but you never made a move. And I'm like, what? Bruh, I made hella moves. You didn't see. She's like, nah, you should have been up front. Because me now, I thought you didn't want
I think
me.
next
And
episode
then
next episode we must talk about how guys apparently women always complain about this, how guys give off signals and then after a while it's like, I wanted you, but then the girl's like totally oblivious, had no clue. I wonder who's ignoring the signs or who's not giving clear signs.
I will admit, I was never, because again, back then it's like, yo, you're bang of the rejection. So it was never like straight up like, yo, listen, unless I knew said person, there was a level of attraction towards me, then I'm like, okay, cool, I can venture out there because I'm probably going to be met halfway. But for like a cold case, like, right, build your case from zero. It took time to get up to that level of confidence. So now, we've just admitted to each other that, bruh, there was a chance, now you're leaving, so that chance is dead. So what's the next best thing to do? Obviously, we smashed. That was it.
Yeah.
So anyway, all this to say, Mr. Moyo, all your bestie shit is BS. That's all that I'm saying. I'll never ever subscribe to it just because we all know, like I said, one person, if not both, always has feelings for the other. That's just what
I still do not.
That's all that.
I still will not buy that at this moment in time because
So
I
that's
think
just Nkani on your end.
it's not Nkani because I do think a lot of people are misdiagnosing these friendships. They weren't really friendships to begin with. Nga vele umuntu atumfuna at the beginning, they're not your friend.
What's friendship?
It's just friendship, like two people who are friends.
What is that?
The way
like
we're
you're saying,
friends.
you're misdiagnosing it. What is it?
Then that's someone who you have a crush on. That's someone that you like, right?
So if I'm secretly gay, right? If I was secretly gay and I'm like, Senna, I'm actually romantically attracted to you, and that's how we've been, a part of our friendship that I've just never told you about. Does it then invalidate the 20 whatever years of our friendship?
It questions it.
Does it invalidate it?
It questions it. It brings your intentions into question.
But all the experiences that we've had, as they've been, does it now invalidate it? It does
Not invalidate,
opinion,
but there's now a question mark, right? Oh, okay. So when we're hanging out that time, was this guy thinking, would he, And it's the same if it was a woman, right? It would be like, okay, so now that you're saying this now, so it doesn't mean Uti, all this time we spent together, it wasn't just friendship, you're just waiting for a chance. You see.
Okay. Fair enough. But no, Mr. Moy, 2.5 hours.
I know it's good. We can even skip next week. Guys, I'm joking.
Right? This is two podcasts. Another 30 minutes, and it really is 2 podcasts.
Yeah.
But guys, enjoy. This is 7 days of content. Just like 20 minutes a day, and you'll be fine. I'm sure we have those addicts who binge it on Friday. Shout out to you. But I think
big ups to you guys.
We can leave it here.
Yeah.
Again, guys, shout out. We're 50K. Thank you for the listeners. Whoa, bagithi English bundles at Siyabonga bagithi sesihamba siyayivala le ndaba sithi ilike tweet subscribe. Mr. Moyo,
do the whole damn thing. Mr. Maps, we give thanks as always.
sharp.
Laters.